In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders.
That's assault, man. That's assault, man. Rape that, man. Pop that hair, man. That's assault, man. That's assault, man. Rape that, man. Rape that, pop that hair, man. These people are going to eject you from this line. That's assault, man. That's assault, man. It is. You cannot touch me like that. Oh, I will be telling you exactly what happened. Rape that, man. These people are going to eject you from this line. That's assault. That's assault. We have video of her just touching. How did that go? I will. Excuse me. Man. Excuse me. Rape that. That's assault. That's man. You cannot touch me like that. Rape that. Rape that. Rape that. Rape that. Rape that. That's rape that. Rape that. Oh, I will be telling you. Rape that. Rape that. That's assault. That's assault. That's assault. Rape that. That's assault. We have video of her just. These people are going to eject you from this line. How did that show? I will assault. It is incredibly appropriate. I will. You cannot touch me like that. That's assault. Rape that. Stop that chair here. Man, you cannot touch me like that. It is incredible. That's assault. Rape that. That's assault. Rape that. Stop that chair. Man. Stop that chair. Man. Stop that chair. Man. These people. These people are going to eject you from this line. Rape that. That's rape that. Rape that. That's assault. Rape that. Man. Rape that. Oh, I will. Man. That's assault. That's assault. Oh, I will be telling you exactly what happened. Stop that chair. That's assault. Rape that. Man, that's assault. Man, rape that. Man, rape that. Stop that chair. These people are going to eject you from this line. That's assault. Man, that's assault. Man, it is. You cannot touch me like that. Oh, I will tell you exactly what happened. Rape that. Rape that. Man. These people are going to eject you from this line. That's assault. That's assault. We have video of her just touching. How did that go? I will be. Excuse me. Man. Excuse me. Rape that. That's assault. Excuse me. Stop that chair. Man. You cannot touch me like that. Rape that. Rape that. Rape that. Rape that. Rape that. That's rape that. Rape that. Oh, I will be telling you. Rape that. Rape that. That's assault. Stop that. That's assault. That's assault. Stop that. Rape that. That's assault. Stop that chair here. We have video of her just. These people are going to eject you from this line. How did that show? I will be assault. It is incredibly appropriate. I will. You cannot touch me like that. That's assault. Rape that. Stop that chair here. Man.
Hold on a second. Susie Snow. Can you guys hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Susie, did you change? Have I noticed this before? Hold on. Did you change your name to Targaryen? Because of what I said about your hair. It is very Daenerys, and I love it. I feel like I've noticed this before, and I could just be spacing out. Okay, you can hear? Okay, excellent. I love you did. Okay, that's hilarious. Also, hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hugin is staring at me right now. Hello to all you nasty kids, all you nasty feral individuals. Hello, hello. It is a late night live. This is for those of you who drink in the week and you get home and you're wasted and you're like, I need to change my life. And then you put this on and you go, you know what? It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It is that bad. You need to fix yourself. But listen, don't you like this banger? Don't you look, Lord took a shower for this, you guys. This is a big fucking event. Okay. This is a big fucking event tonight. I'm glad you don't, Darlene. I'm glad you just smoke on the roof. And I love that about you. Also, Darlene wants you to know she does not do black magic and she does not do voodoo. Don't you put that evil on her. Do you understand? That was me. I put the evil on you. I'm sorry, Darlene. I just assumed when I walked into your magic witch voodoo room on Discord that what I was seeing was not what I'm just kidding around. I know what it was. Will you leave that open, baby? Listen, you kids, you do all your witch shit. You do your moon shit. I don't care. I don't care anymore. You can like the moon. I don't care. Now that it controls the tides in my period, apparently, I am now afraid of it. I am afraid. It was funny. It was very funny. But listen, I'm terrified. I'm in your rooms. I'm going through your diaries. I'm going through your life journals. I see what you kids are doing. I know you're plotting a coup for the next time we're in family court, and I don't blame you. I'm not a very good dad. Listen, we're going back a little because I like the part when that girl from that play starts to jump up and the beat drops again. I really enjoy that. I don't think I will ever be able to find a chakra. You know what? Me neither. Me neither, because I'm not looking. Quit looking, Miss Jessica. That's when you find things, when you don't worry about it. And also controls the tides in my toilet. That's true. And the toilet is fixed. I fixed it. I did it. And also I was wrong. I need to correct the record. Tiff Knox was right. Tiff Knox was right. I think she said, she didn't say a washer. She said it was something. I can't even, a gasket. It was a gasket. I blew a gasket, you guys. That's what happened. That's what happened on the toilet, okay? Who said I wasn't? Uh-oh, Darlene's going to do more magic. Darlene? Lexi, how are you tonight? Thank you for being early. I'm sorry if your phone died. It looks like it's back. She's fine. When I get faster typing, I will tag everyone. For now, all you cool kids, all you cool cats and kittens, you're stuck with me now, but I'm nice. Yeah, you are. You're the queen of the dragons. You have to be nice. You have a whole kingdom to run. You got a bunch of unsullied, dickless losers fucking following you around. You got to tell them what to do. That's us. We're the unsullied. Hello, Susie, says Lexi. Yeah, not the O-ring. I thought it was an O-ring. I don't know. I don't know anymore, but I fixed the thing. And now our toilet doesn't explode. So ha-ha, ha-ha. Ha-ha to all of you. Ha-ha to all of you. And also, I looked at a bunch. I'm back where I was years ago. I'm in an existential chair meltdown. I'm going to have 3 episodes about finding a chair. We're going to have to do that. It's probably going to be 8 hours an episode. You guys have no idea what this has done to me, Chairgate. You thought I was insufferable? Oh, wait. You unsullied, dickless losers. I'll show you unsullied. I'll show you unsufferable. I'll tell you what. Me hunting for a chair is a nightmare. It's a nightmare. I'm a nightmare person, and I shouldn't be looking for chairs. I shouldn't be looking for chairs because now I'm about to turn the city upside down. I'm going to go to Elon and I'm going to complain. It's such a task. These are white people problems, aren't they? Listen, it's just finding a chair is very hard. It's very hard. Not just in the city, but beyond. I'm a very picky man. Do you understand? Very picky. Yeah, Darlene is dickless. She'll admit it. She knows what she did. All right, let's get back to Tal Jams. MC Lunchbox with 2 X's. If you like this song and others, you can check out the OG original on his channel.
That's a song. Break that. Pop that chair. These people are going to eject you from this life. That's a song. That's a song. It is. You cannot touch me like that. Oh, I will tell you exactly what happened. Break that. These people are going to eject you from this life. That's a song. We have video of her just touching. How did that sound? I will be. Excuse me. Excuse me. Break that. That's a song. Excuse me. Stop that chair. You cannot touch me like that. Break that. Break that. Oh, I will be telling you. Break that.
That is a callback. Star Z just did. Remember when you held the severed dick in your hands, Darlene? Also, Miss Jessica, thank you for the offer, but no, I have to get a new chair. I've been instructed. And also, it would cost too much money to send a chair. Do you know how much it costs to send chairs these days? It's insane. It's insane because I know how much it costs because it's next to every fucking chair you want to look at online. And let me tell you something. The sizes in the store, because I have compared. I have looked at the exact mega model online, got into the store, checked it out. They never look, they always look too big if they're small and too small if they're big. And it drives me nuts. It's like House of Leaves. Like when the house is always, it doesn't matter. That's a weird reference. Anyway, back to Tal Jams. You flew all night with a dick in your hands, and boy, are your arms tired.
That's a song. Stop that chair here. We have video for just these people are going to eject you from this line. How did that show? I will be song. It is incredibly appropriate. I will. You cannot touch me like that. That's a song. Right? Stop that chair here. You cannot touch me like that. It is incredible. That's a song. Right? That's a song. Right? Stop that chair there. Stop that chair there. These people are these people are going to eject you from this line. That's a song. Oh, I will. That's a song. assault. That's 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 assault. Oh, I will. That's assault. 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 Oh, I will be telling you. That's assault. 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 Oh, I will be telling you exactly what happened. Drop that character. That's assault. Read that. That's assault. That's assault. Oh, I will be telling you. That's assault. That's assault. Oh, I will be telling you. That's assault. 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 Oh, I will. That's assault. 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 That's assault.
Yes, that's your auntie, who is currently in Pakistan with her 10K and her husband. We're so proud of her. Listen, you guys. Hello. We've got a lot to do today. Okay. Free Aunt Deb, right? Maybe we need to make free Auntie Deb shirts. Maybe that'll get her ass back. The clip before Auntie Deb, the kids in Letterkenny, it's not. It's the cybergoth dance kids Mitty was talking about. They're just a little group of kids that they just dance and they're goth and they're fun. And we love that for them. But I can link that video below after. So listen, we have a lot to do today. I have a lot planned for us. First of all, I saved this for you. I'm going to do it first because, you know, I want it to stay cold and I'm probably not going to like it and just give it over to Dead's boyfriend real quick, who's over there making hot sick beats right now. This is the official Beetlejuice Fanta Haunted Apple. Okay. Are you all right? Yeah, he's dying. So, speaking of recessive dicks, I'm going to try this because I love Michael Keaton and that's the only reason. Yeah, Auntie has all the land now. She's in Pakistan. She's got all the land. She's got, yeah, I believe you too, darling. I believe you about the dick thing. I know that you flew with the dick in your hands and boy, are your arms tired. Okay, so we're going to try this out. And here's why, because a while back I joked about how if I don't even remember doing it, but one of you guys sent me a clip of it a while back because I was like, you know what? Fine. Fuck it. I'll just be like all the other channels and we'll just start taste testing shit. I think I was in a mood. I don't know. And then one of you messaged me that clip and was like, can you taste test shit? And I was like, no, because I hate the sound also of people chewing and eating. But then I saw this and I was like, damn, I do love Michael Keaton and we want to try this. And I don't like soda. So I'm just gonna try this thing. And we're gonna see what's up with it. One's in the chat if you have tried this. No, I don't even care if you thought it was good. Just one's in the chat if you've tried it. Two's in the chat if you had no idea this existed before today, like me. Because I knew they were making sodas for this thing, but I didn't know it'd be Fanta. All right, here we go. I'll put it up to the... Ooh. That was fun. The internet's also been real shitty. Okay, it smells like apples. It smells like the drink at an IKEA. You can get a fancy soda at IKEA. It's like apples. Appleton is my favorite thing ever. It's my favorite flavor. Next to Darlene's severed dicks that she carries in her hands. It's my second favorite flavor. What is this? It's it's carbonated water, high fructose corn syrup, of course. Citric acid, natural flavors. All right, salt for taste. Okay. And it is spiced apple soda. This is probably illegal in other countries. Oh, I fucking love I do love Big Red. Big Red's like the only soda that I love. And when I was little, I used to get the Big Red popsicles and they were the best. And I'm still pissed they got rid of them. I like Clearly Canadian. I mean, I guess that's a soda. So yeah, this is like a spiced apple and it's Michael Keaton flavored. So let's see. Oh, fuck. Babe, do you want this? Nope. Babe. Okay. Dylan. He can't hear me. He has his headphones on. Ugh. That tasted like a really sweet. I don't like sweets that much. What is it? Like a caramel apple thing. Tastes like a caramel apple candy or something. Nope. Yeah. No Fanta. Nope. That is a haunted apple because it tastes like shit. That was nasty. All right. This is why we don't do taste tests. I don't like anything. They're all going to go like that, especially if it's sweet. I feel bad because one time that weird guy Kenneth sent me a box of stuff and I was like, this is really good. But then like later on, I could still taste it and I didn't like it. But eating it, it did taste really good, whatever it was. It was like a maple cookie, which I didn't think I'd like. But then there was some other stuff in there that apparently everybody likes. I couldn't handle it. I don't know. Maybe I was honest and I didn't like it, but I don't know. I tried to be nice on that one, but goddamn, that was the sweetest thing I've ever fucking tasted. Also, does it keep fucking freezing? What is going on? Ugh. Percy Jackson Books also writes the paranormal crime novels based in San Antonio. And the first book is called Big Red Tequila. There's a Big Red beer actually in San Antonio. So that exists. I bought a bag of Notorious B.I.G. potato chips once, could bring myself. You know what? I ate those. I've bought Wrap Snacks. I bought all of them. Honestly, they're all pretty fucking good. There's like only one that's kind of gross, and it's like, oh god, I have the sniffles so bad. I've been trying not to take any medicine for it because I kind of overindulged in Benadryl and took it all that we had in like 1 week because I kept getting itchy, and it turns out I was just eating stuff I was allergic to. Yeah, you met the author? Oh shit. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm gonna have to check it out. Benadryl, not Benadryl, Big Red is a very popular soda. Big Red and Barbacoa is what I grew up on, and I really love it. Yeah, Michael Keaton should taste better than that. It's not a good thing. And also, I did have ketchup chips, and I didn't like them, and everybody else liked them, so I don't know. Yeah, it was for the Beetlejuice movie. It says, ugh. It says that. It says for the motion picture. I'm gonna try it again just because isn't that what Dave Portnoy does? He says just one bite and then we rate it, but he takes two. I'm gonna try it again. Yeah, no, it's still gross. It tastes sweeter than a sour apple blow pop. If it was sour, I'd probably like it, but that's just sweet. That just tastes like sludge, like candy sludge. Ugh. I don't know. I don't know about that. Okay. So I do have a little bit of found footage I'll show you guys before we get into what we're going to talk about today. But first, I want to show you guys we have new merchandise. Been on a merch kick, and I finally started going through my emails again, and I found a bunch of merch requests in one, and I was like, that's not a bad idea. One of them is the Thank You Paul shirt. This is the Thank You Paul shirt. So if you want to say thank you to Paul for him allowing you to beat the shit out of him, you know, and Paul can be anyone. Paul is like how we were talking about how I told you how my friend Jared just always spoke to a specific woman on his Facebook, but then it turns out she didn't exist. That's just like what he named his diary. Like, think about Paul like that. Like, you're just saying thank you to a person. He can represent anyone, but thank you, Paul. So we have it in white, and it's got like a little gray background banner thing. I was thinking of making it blue, but it just looked weird. So we left it gray to go with the background. It's all right. I think it's a cool shirt. They're not over. All of them are like $15. So that's pretty sick. They're not too expensive, but there you go. Thank you, Paul. He's choking Paul. That's fun. That's nice. It's McSweeney self-defense. So you can get that shirt now for $15. Here's the other shirt. Let me show you this one. Share this tab instead. This is called the YouTube doc shirt. I went on YouTube and all I got was doxed and this stupid t-shirt. So why did I put this up? For obvious reasons. If you got doxed in the last 3 months and you want to tell the world about it, there you go. This is how you can express it without having to express it on the internet or Twitter and then being accused of continuing some sort of big campaign to destroy a stranger that you don't really know, who you don't follow, and they don't follow you. So if you want that oddly specific shirt, it is also $15. They are only in black, like our souls. All right. So I went on the YouTube and all I got was doxed and this stupid t-shirt. You can get yours now right there at the Fourth Wall website. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Then, of course, for those of you who missed it, we've still got Uncle Frank. Thanks for all the opinions tweet t-shirt. This is the tweet that Uncle Francis made after her first experience on the internet, how it didn't go well and how it ended up. Thanks for all the opinions was her response. We all laughed for about, every day until now. And if you want to help out Francis and her kidney fund, all proceeds from this shirt go to Uncle Francis's kidney fund. That's right. All proceeds for this shirt forever will go to Uncle Francis's kidney fund. So we have that in black. It's very nice. They're all $15 each. And there you go. Those are the new shirts. I hope that you enjoy them. I spent a good amount of time trying to get them put up on the store because every time I try to upload something onto the store, it freezes my computer. I have figured out why. I have updated and fixed the issue. I've patched the issue. It will no longer be an issue. And hopefully I will be putting out more better merch. Not more better, but more and better merch. So with that said, you'll need to see receipts. I don't have any receipts. I refuse to give receipts. This is not a CVS, ma'am. Ma'am, that's assault. Oh, you mean for Uncle for when we donate? I will send you a screenshot. It will happen right now. So I think I get merch funds come in on the 1st. So I just got some, but I think they were the day before I put it up. I don't know. I have to look, but it tells me how many are sold. So what I plan on doing is taking, because it tells you how much you get from each shirt, taking that, multiplying it by that. And then I'm going to PayPal or Cash App it to Francis, and we'll just do that every month. So I will put screenshots of it up. And then when people accuse me, I can go, here you go, bitch. Here go your receipts back. So with that said, we're going to get started here. I am going to play a little of that song again because it does get me pumped. And then it's going to lead us into how to be a real man. And then we're going to watch for the first time Princess Kitty, which I picked out for you guys because I think it's very funny. And then we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about today, which is exciting. I have some exciting things to show you guys that I think you're going to find very exciting and very interesting. And it is going to be much exciting. I cannot wait to do that. Here you go. Let's go ahead and get going. And we're going to play this half because I like it a lot.
Oh, I will. That's assault. That's assault. Oh, I will be telling you exactly what happened. Stop that chair. That's assault. Right there. That's assault. Right there. Right there. Stop that chair. These people are going to eject you from this line.
Laura, what do you mean? How is Frank? She's fucking dying. She needs a kidney. It's bad. You have to get her a kidney. Send those shirts to everyone. Donate to everyone. Oh, you mean just in general? She's fine. She's trucking it out. She's going to Taco Bell and doing her thing, getting dialysis, doing her thing, stuff like that. But she is dying. But also she's doing her thing. We're going to try to keep her alive. We're going to try our best. If you guys know someone who has a type O negative blood, just like Peter Steele, hit me up. Hit someone up. Tell me, and I will relay it to her. If you think you are a match, and you want to get if kidney or treat, hit her up. Hit me up. I'll fucking put you in touch. Right now, she's taking a little breaky poo from the internet, and your Aunt Deb is in Pakistan taking money from potential future husbands.
That's assault. That's assault. It is. You cannot touch me like that. Oh, I will tell you exactly what happened. Right there. These people are going to eject you from this line. That's assault. That's assault. We have video of her just touching. How did that go? I will be. Excuse me. Excuse me. That's assault. Excuse me. Stop that chair. You cannot touch me like that. Right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. That's right there. Right there. Oh, I will be telling you. Right there. Right there. That's assault. Stop that. That's assault. That's assault. Stop that. Right there. That's assault. Stop that chair here. We have video of her just. These people are going to eject you from this line. How did that show? I will be assault. It is incredibly offensive. I will. You cannot touch me like that. That's
I want to, but if I load it, it's gonna like fuck everything up because I have a lot of big ass files open to show you guys. But I'll put it on deck for next time. Ooh, and then me and Deb can get into a beef one day and she can copyright strike me. Oh my god, this is gonna be sick. All right, that's a good idea. I'm gonna put it on deck one day.
So, right there. Stop that chair here. You cannot touch me like that. It is incredible. That's assault. Right there. That's assault. Right there. Stop that chair. Stop that chair. Stop that chair. These people are.
Oh, hun, she's good. She's great. She's just doing the Taco Bell thing. I don't even know. Actually, she's not. She was doing mashed potatoes last time I talked to her. She's doing the potato thing, chilling with Suze. Chilling with Suze in Bridge. I need to get her to make us a PowerPoint soon, though. We got to get her back. We got to get her back for the PowerPoints. I told her she's not allowed to leave because we already paid Eatball all that money to audit the audit. So she legally is bound to come back on. Because we did give IPA, like, what was it, $2 million of our total funds? That's a lot of money.
These people are going to eject you from this line.
That's a song. Oh, I will That's a song. That's a song. Oh, I will. That's a song. 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 That's a song.
They said what? You know what? You need to punish them for that. It's so funny. What are they talking about?
That's a song. That's a song. Oh, I will. That's a song. 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 Oh, I will be telling you.
So if Trump wasn't pissing me off so goddamn much, I'd play it. But just hearing his voice makes me go into a state of rage right now. Otherwise, we would. When things get funnier in the world, we'll go back and play that. But right now, I'm fucking mad.
That's a song. 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 Oh, I will tell you exactly about it. Drop that character. That's a song. Right there. That's a song. That's a song. Oh, I will be telling you. That's a song. That's a song. Oh, I will be telling you. That's a song. 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 Oh, I will. That's a song. 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 That's a song.
Joe Simmons used to be your average teenager. He enjoyed his music. He liked his magazines. He loved his television programs. He worshipped Marissa Wilson.
This is a great idea. Yes, we can. Tribute to Francis Day? Oh my God, that's a good idea. We could have Ipa host it. I'm going to put that on deck.
He had a few pet habits. But then, Joe got a message. Now, Joe will never be the same.
Green Day? Not today. Counting Crows? Your number's up. Pearl Jam? Your toe jam. Consider yourself disconnected. Joe, hey, you got a light? I'm gonna let it shine.
Also, Turd Ferguson, we got to get you a fourth wall store opened. And I will make you the design for I Was Catfished. But I don't need to make it. Just use that design and put that on a shirt and sell it. Because I would buy that in a heartbeat. And I Was Catfished by Turd Ferguson shirt. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Yes, please. I'll order 10 of them. Okay? I need an I Was Catfished by Turd Ferguson shirt. Also, can't do 24-hour lives because they only let you do 12 hours total before they cut your ass off. Isn't that crazy? Changing the Wi-Fi password settings. That is funny. That is funny. Print her drunk email. Okay. We'll do that. A Grand Canyon one too? Well, then let's do it. We need to get that. He's very hungry. That's why he's eating his CDs. Let's go back.
Counting Crows? Your number's up. Pearl Jam? Your toe jam. Consider yourself disconnected. Joe, hey, you got a light? I'm gonna let it shine. What's up, Joe? Are you crazy? Crazy? You're loco por Jesus.
I'm just fucking with you. I couldn't even get through the sentence. I was gonna be like, Ranka did a 2-part for 24 hours when people do that voice at someone. It's so fucking mean. Have you guys ever been in a full-blown fight with your partner? And it's like real serious and everyone's crying and fucking upset and everyone's red and then you're just like, you just do that shit. It's so fucked up. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mitty. I wanted to do that for so long. Like somebody just says some shit in chat. And I'm like, Mitty, I have to get you things with Ranka. He's actually a friend of mine. It's so fucking mean. Don't fuck with parent. Okay, but like it's so fucking mean. God damn it. I'm gonna hear it. Like it's so mean, dude. I love you guys so much. That's what you sound like. Fuck, dude. Also, Shroom's voicemails. Dude, yeah. Melissa told me she hallucinated. You fucking poser, Laura. You guys are fucking. I bet y'all were so mean in high school. Fuck, I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, we could rip off Runkle. Sure. Let's fucking rip off Runkle. We'll do a 2-part, 12 hours apart. They want me to do a 24-hour live for Frank's kidney. He's like, let Frank die. That's what he says. Don't you fucking throw your hands up. I saw that face. How dare you? Here, this is terrible. Drink it. Let's see what he says. I'll have to tell you guys. I'll describe his face. He's chugging. Okay. He did a scrunchy eyebrow thing, and now his eyebrows are lifted. Now he's reading the ingredients. That's not a good sign. Pretty good.
Tastes like caramel apple.
Tastes like a caramel apple. See, I told you guys. He drinks Caesars.
Tastes like Fago.
Tastes like Fago. Don't you call me that.
Caramel apple Fago.
Whoop whoop, he says. Yeah, that 100% was Mitty's voice. Hey, my name is Mitty. I'm from another town and I do good things and I win awards. That's Mitty's voice. I could do Jessica's voice. It's, hey, I'm Miss Jessica. Don't you step to me. I'm big shit. I need to be in wars. And then this is Melissa. I tripped all night on drugs. Hudson's going to come in here and be like, hey guys, it's me, Satan. You all fucking talk the same. I got an EGOT. Blah, blah, blah. Laura's like, no, 12 hours of power. I can't take it. I don't like Italians. I'm Laura. I'm just kidding. JB hates it. JB fucking hates it. JB says stop. Fuck. Okay, I'll keep going. Here we go.
Oh, yes. Well, trying on clothes is not much fun.
No, she doesn't like.
Oh,
Yes.
Princess Cutie. She's still worrying about those other kitties. Yeah.
Okay, read some.
Look, Grim.
With her eye. There she is.
Oh, look, Grim. Oh, what a beauty. Come on.
Hey, my name's AJ and everyone sounds alike. That's enough, ma'am. That's racist.
You need some chicken so you'll be
And this is
happy.
just a.
Where's her hat? Do you want to put her hat on?
Oh, yes, her hat.
Flagella means gay. Okay, Laura, come on. I know you're just trying to make me say it. That's enough. That you kids.
There
That
you
is assault.
go.
They are assaulting the cat.
Look how beautiful you are.
I'm honestly kind of mad for that cat. That video isn't even that funny. It makes me pissed. Take that shit off that cat's head. Although there is a really cool cat that was on Jackson Galaxy, Bombadil, and they dressed that cat up, and that was pretty fucking cute. Like, it did look pissed off. That cat's assault, absolutely. I'm gonna make you regret this day for the rest of your life. That's how that cat actually does talk. That was not even funny. That's just how that cat talks. This is if Turd and Ernie adopted a cat together. Okay, let's watch it with that in mind. And then it's funny again. Okay, so this is Turd and Ernie, and this is their new cat. All right. So imagine that just said Turd and Ernie's Princess Kitty.
Oh, yes. Well, trying on clothes is not much fun.
No, she
Oh my
doesn't
gosh,
like.
she has the cat on her shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Princess Cutie.
Yo, first of all, are they dressing that cat up like Natty Neidhart? Second of all, can we get the shirt she's wearing in our merch store? The shirt of the cat?
She's still worrying about those other kitties. Yeah.
Look at Rita.
Look, Graham.
With her eye. And there she is.
Oh,
with her
look,
beauty.
Graham. Oh, what a beauty. Come on. You need some chicken so you'll be
And this is
happy.
just a.
Where's her hat? Do you want to put her hat on?
Oh yes, her hat.
There you are. Oh, yes, Princess. Look how beautiful you are. Yes.
You know, it's funny. One of you guys said Cat's Assault. I actually made a remix of Cat's Assault for Aunt Deb to do on an episode that she didn't end up doing. If I can find it, I'll put it up. And you guys can hear Cat's Assault. Meow. Like, it's really good. It's really good. It needs to be heard. Although I hope Aunt Deb comes back and does it, and then Cat's Assault can be shared with the world. But if I can pull it up here during this, I will. Okay. So, oh yeah. So here's what I want to talk to you guys about today. So let's go down the list. We got 3 things to talk about. First of all, Tracy Kirkpatrick. She was the young lady after we talked about the apology line the other day. We talked about Tracy Kirkpatrick's murder. And it's because one of you guys got a DNA test so that you can, I guess, bust your family because you're related to that somehow or related to a suspect maybe or something. I don't know. Or maybe you think you could be because the same last name. It was something like that. I don't want to out you, but one of you guys said that. And I was like, damn. And so we went back and we learned about her. And there was an Unsolved Mysteries episode about her. And I wanted to watch it with you guys. But again, YouTube, so we can't. But the way that worked out was somebody called a Vegas hotline that is a lot like the apology line. And they always say it was a confession line. And I always wondered what that was and how we can go back and listen to it. And I tried to find some stuff on it for a good while. And ideally, I wanted to play it for you, but it actually was not what I thought it was. I ended up finding the original name of what it was that the person called. So it was a thing that was ran through a company called Autotech. And back then, what you could do is you could call this phone line essentially. And this was like late 80s, it's 1989, I believe. You could call this phone line. And for like $1 a minute, like it was ridiculous. It started out like $1 a minute and then 10 cents for every minute after that. You could just listen to people's confessions. And people would call in and you could also leave a confession and you would pay to leave a confession and pay to hear others. So they basically monetized the apology line and it was a nationwide thing, but you could call in for your individual state so that you didn't have to pay extra fees on top of the fee. So there were different numbers for different states and different cities. And there was one that was like national where you heard people's confessions from all over the US. And then there was one where you heard people from within your state and they all had different names. So it got a little confusing, but I managed to track down this one. And in this one, it was a national one, but the call was routed from Maryland and it ended up getting picked up and played in Vegas. So the person who was calling to hear confessions and pay to hear it was in Vegas. And the person who left the actual message was in Maryland, which is why they say Vegas. Hello, everybody. Hi. Oh, Clam is here. Hello, Clam. Sorry. I just saw the chat went nuts. And it's because a bunch of you guys showed up. I will tell Auntie that you're all proud of her, but she is in Pakistan right now with her new husband and her 10K and all of her land because she strong-armed a nation of people. Hello, Claudia. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. So here's what we're going to do. A bunch of you guys were asking about that and you wanted to hear the call again. And I will link the video again where you can go to hear that call. I wanted to play it for you. And I wanted to basically read you some of the news that I found from 1990 because this had happened the year before. And, a lot of the information that's available on this on YouTube is like modern podcasts and like a lot of news reports that you don't really get the perspective of back then. So I wanted to find articles from the year it happened and I found a pretty good one and I wanted to just kind of go over it with you. But first, I figured I would show you the phone call again. It's 1 minute and 30 seconds. And there was a suspect. Oh, super loud. I forgot I need to turn this down a bit. There was one suspect that worked with her. And his daddy is a town sheriff. And so naturally, a lot of people are like, coup, cover up, right? And he has a very similar name to the name given of the caller, but different first letters. Then there's another guy who was a bit older and was stalking her and was obsessed with her and had just come in the week prior to the store that is a much newer suspect. And then there's another guy who actually it went to the grand jury and they said, yes, indict him 100% on murder because apparently they had enough evidence to do that at the time. And the person, the district attorney said, no, we're not going to do that. Like basically they chose not to go through with it, even though a grand jury said, yes, he absolutely did that. There is enough evidence to convict him. Still didn't go through with it. They believe that it had to do with politics and all this other stuff. So that guy apparently is still a big suspect. And there's a number of reasons why. But I wanted to go back to the beginning because now they are saying there are 2 other potentials and simultaneously DNA has come a long way, but apparently the police can't really run the DNA because they said that it got fucked up a long time ago. So when I started looking through, I was like, well, how long ago did it get fucked up? And it turned out it got fucked up like right from the very get. They like lost it or something and then they found it and then it went bad. I guess they didn't store it properly. So now they're talking about how there is actually some that could be preserved, like that we can get past that sort of thing. And it makes me wonder, like, are they going to find someone soon? And I think that's pretty cool. But I still want to go back and see like the original stuff that was reported on about this. So I pulled up a really old article. It is from 1990. But first, let me go ahead and play this for you. If you guys missed it, this is Tracy Kirkpatrick's, one of the suspects that called in from a place that was literally near where she worked and got murdered. And the guy that is like the lead suspect apparently lives within like 3 miles or something of the payphone that was used to call this line. So this is the telephone call that someone in Vegas heard when they called this Audiotech phone line or Autotech phone line to hear other people's confessions. And this is from a man in Maryland. And it was 3 months. I just want to correct that. I don't know what I said last time. I think I said a few years. It was not a few years. It was a few months. I apologize. It was 3 months after the murder. This call made its rounds. And who knows who else heard it first. But usually if they played it for one person, they'd play it for others. So there's a chance that a good deal of people heard this and did not report it. But that's beside the point. Let's go ahead and listen right now. Oh, and I am going to play it a few times, and it is super loud, so I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Here we go.
Hello, my name is Don, and I'm calling from Frederick, Maryland. I know this is going to sound surprising, but 3 months ago, I stabbed a girl to death. And you might think that in making this tape, I'm setting myself up to be caught. But there are a lot of guys named Don in Frederick. girl I killed was working in a ladies' sportswear store. I often came by and talked to her when she was working alone. And one night when she was in the storeroom and we were talking, our conversation turned into an argument. And so I took out a knife that I had with me at all times and I killed her. And a few days later I realized that I had created a lot of sadness. And I thought about turning myself into the police. But whatever they do to me, that won't bring Tracy back. So I decided that I better keep free because we have the death penalty in Maryland. Thanks for listening. I'm sorry about what I did, but nothing can change it. Bye.
Okay, so with that said, let's go back. Whoops. Spoiler alert. We are going to talk about Hank later. We're going to listen to it one more. Whoops. We're going to listen to it one more time. And then I'm probably going to clean this phone call up audio wise and play it again after I clean it up later. So probably in the next episode we do, the next live, I should have a more clean, crisp version of that. I'm going to get rid of the fuzz in the background and I'm going to try to enhance the caller's voice and bring up kind of more of the tone. And I'm not going to fuck with the pitch at all. I just want to get something very, very clear. So I'm going to be doing that for the next one because I do think that it will be more apt for comparison should we find any voices of any of the suspects that have, as far as I know, all been named and announced at this point. It has been, over 30 years, 35 years, something like that, 35 years. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. That is very strange logic. It's very strange logic. And yeah, this live is probably 3 or 4 ago, D. And this was actually at the request of one of you guys. You emailed me and told me how you were getting a DNA test done because, you want to fucking bust someone in your family or something. I don't know, something like that. Like you think you might be related to someone. You hope it will help. And I'm like, wow, that's sick. Like that's really cool. I love hearing it. I love it when people are like, yeah, I'll totally share my DNA for the greater good. Of cold case research. I absolutely love that. Same. So yeah, I think that's dope. And I was like, okay, well, let's look into this. And then it was a cold case and it's right up my alley. It's right around the late 80s, early 90s. So of course I'm going to go check it out. And the reason that you guys or the person messaged me is because of Apology Line, because it was very similar. It's like, oh, this is kind of like what's going on here is someone called and confessed. And we were talking about Henry Beddard as a possibility for one of the Apology Line callers, aka Bernie, which we are going to go over some Apology Line stuff a little later. But yeah, let's play this one more time so you guys can hear it. And by the way, guys, I am going to take Hugin out to take a little Krizappy real quick. He's got a crap. So I'm going to go ahead and let it play into the Hank Brennan stuff because that's our next topic. I just wanted to play you this, but I am going to let you play. I'm going to let it play into the Hank Brennan stuff because we are going to talk about some Brennan-y shit next. If I'm not back in time. But yeah, here, check this out.
My name is Don, and I'm calling from Frederick, Maryland. I know this is going to sound surprising, but 3 months ago, I stabbed a girl to death. And you might think that in making this tape, I'm setting myself up to be caught, but there are a lot of guys named Don in Frederick. The girl I killed was working in a ladies' sportswear store. I often came by and talked to her when she was working alone. And one night when she was in the storeroom and we were talking, our conversation turned into an argument. And so I took out a knife that I had with me at all times and I killed her. And a few days later, I realized that I had created a lot of sadness. And I thought about turning myself into the police. But whatever they do to me, that won't bring Tracy back. So I decided that I better keep free because we have the death penalty in Maryland. Thanks for listening. I'm sorry about what I did, but nothing can change it. Bye.
He used Celebrite UFED, a tool of Celebrite, to image the phone. And that's all he sent to the defense in the beginning. Why is that unusual? Because what happens in every case, without exception, is that the law enforcement sends the raw image, original data that has the hash signature on it. And the hash signature is an algorithm that produces, they call it, in this case, SHA-256. What it is it's a stamp of reliability that says, as soon as we got this data, we immediately processed it the proper way and put a hash signature so that there can be no contest. What the Commonwealth fails to tell the court, Your Honor, is and that leads any proper data forensic investigator to question the integrity of the data. If you turn to, Your Honor, Mr. Whiffin's very long December 2024 report, which is Exhibit 1 to the Commonwealth's motion on page 3, and I'm going to read it verbatim. This value is talking about.
Okay, cool. It keeps freezing. I don't know why it does that, but it does that. Okay. So back to Tracy Kirkpatrick. You don't freak out when bugs or critters are on you. That is weird. I freaked the fuck out. Yeah, it's not a note alert. We're just having really shitty issues with our internet. It is sucking. It's sucking pretty bad. Okay. So here we go. The Tracy Kirkpatrick stuff. I wanted to tell you about the confession line and read you some of this really old article. It's not that long. It's from a guy named Paul Dugan. Love that last name, Hugan Dugan. That's what Dugan is, actually a great wrestler, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. We love that guy. He's the one who came out with the big board and would go, hey-oh. He was the best. He was also on Legends House, which ruled. It was WWE's attempt to market old wrestlers like Roddy Piper, Mean Gene Okerson, and Pat Patterson, an outwardly gay man who is very, very old and invented the Royal Rumble, and grumpy ass Jim Dugan, who cried all the time and who I adored. They tried to market them as a sort of real world type of scenario. They made all these old hurt wrestlers live together in a house. Some of them Republican, some liberal, some gay, some straight, some, different races. Like, they would just throw them all in, and they're like, hey, you old guys who refuse to change your ways and your moods and your thoughts, who are all crippling alcoholics and have broken necks and backs, why don't you hop on in there and live in a house together? And at the time, Roddy Piper was having repeated nightmares of the ghost of Adrian Adonis haunting him at night. So that was fun. It was a very intense show, and it was supposed to be lighthearted fun, and it ended up just being heartbreaking. I think even Virgil was on it for a while. Like, it was insane. But yeah, I love that show. I don't know why I was talking about that. Oh yeah, the Dugans. Anyway, Paul Dugan wrote this article with the Washington Post. Love that. I'm going to put it up in case you guys want to read ahead. And I usually hate reading this much, but may as well. All right. So give me 1 second. I'm going to try something. I was thinking, no, I'm not going to do that. I was going to put Sometimes I like to put a little music to the background, but I'm like, I feel like for some reason it's going to make it more difficult. Okay. I can't breathe. Okay. So I stabbed a girl. Call to confession hotline opens lead in slaying. Paul Dugan, Washington Post, March 18th, 1990. Washington. A year ago Thursday, for no apparent reason, a high school senior named Tracy Kirkpatrick was stabbed to death by an unknown killer in the stockroom of a clothing store in Frederick, Maryland. Remember, the caller said he was from Frederick. Kirkpatrick had worked by herself that night. She was 17, a part-time clerk, an honor student headed for business college in the fall, and the police were stumped. I'd like to pause here for a second and pop in. Do you ever read anything? Here, let me make myself bigger. Put it in the chat if you can think of a case where, not just this one, but like any case where you heard it and you immediately thought of like a couple of other cases. Like, oh, this sounds like, you know what I mean? Like, what, when you hear this one, now we're going to go specific. When you hear this one, put in the chat what cases it reminds you of, if any. For me, immediately I think of the yogurt shop murders, which are also high school kids that were murdered in the back room around closing time at their place of business. And they all had big things ahead for them. I think of the Lululemon murders. The two young ladies, one murdered her coworker while they were at work. Very young, had their whole lives ahead of them. You know, those are the first two I think of. And then I think of the Catholic store one that was, it wasn't in Indiana. I think it was, I don't remember, but it was north of Indiana. It might have even been Michigan. I remember it was a Catholic store and there were two women working there and a guy came in and murdered them. Lane Bryant murders. Yes, absolutely. That one was crazy. But immediately, like, there's all these cases going off in my head. Like, you know, especially the fact that it was high school kids at work. You know what I mean? Like, high school kids at work at night. And then Jessica Harenga, that comes to mind. She was working at a convenience store, right? And then all of a sudden she's gone. And it ended up being a guy in a van who kidnapped her. But in her case, she was just gone. In this case, you know, we have a crime scene there. And in that case, it reminds me of yogurt shop murders right away. There was the burger shop murders. There was the bowling alley murders. I believe that was Las Cruces. Catholic store was St. Louis. Yeah. And that was the one where, I mean, again, crime scene there. There was also a comic book shop one. Like, it was like novelty comic books and toys and stuff. And this woman was working there for her husband who owned it, but he happened to be at home at night. And I believe there was another one where it was a preacher's wife. The Lane Bryant one was crazy. The Lane Bryant one, wasn't there like, there was like 4 different guys that they all said it could have been. And there's recent like documentary or show that had to do with that. The Catholic one was the Catholic bookstore, I believe. And Lululemon was, I think one of the girls' name was Brittany for some reason. I don't know why I know that, but yeah, the guy in the van, yeah, that was Jessica Harenga. And he would just go around kidnapping and murdering women, I believe in Michigan. Yeah, it was I Survived, that one. The Lane Bryant one we can go over in the future, but that one's that is a crazy one. That was a long time ago. And it wasn't, on the new Unsolved Mysteries, don't they do one of those on there? I feel like they do something on there about it. Could be wrong. Yeah, Paul Zahn has a Lulu. Also, the Lululemon one was on like 48 hours and stuff. Yeah, one of the ladies survived. And didn't they try to like blame her cousin or something, or like her ex? It was crazy. It was crazy. We'll go over those in the future. But either way, this immediately reminds me of stuff like that. There was also one that like, it was a store. It was like a small shopping center. And there was a woman who was kidnapped from it. And then probably 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, another woman kidnapped and then a woman murdered in it. and they ended up finding the guy, and that was in like, I want to say New Jersey or Pennsylvania. But a dude robbing a preacher's wife, and they didn't think she's gonna make it. I think that is very similar to what happened in the one where it was the wife was working at her husband's store. I think he ended up hiring someone. But yeah, these are all crazy examples, but like the amount of times that high school kids get murdered at work immediately, or even college kids, like really young ones, Lululemon, yogurt shop murders, boom. And the thing about yogurt shop murders is that was around the same time, but totally different area, right? And there were a ton back then, believe it or not, of people killing women in the workplace when they were closing alone. But for it to be kids or someone like under 18, kind of crazy, you know? And there's even, you know, what's another one that was kind of weird was, I mean, also kind of similar, but not in a workplace. But you know that guy, M. Williams Phelps, that dickbag? He's a fucking jerk. He's rude as shit. He's also like, I noticed here's the thing. I'm not going to fucking shit on him, but here's what I am going to do, even though I already shit on him. I was just curious. I was like, he every single thing that has him on it, especially when he's sensationalizing some shit, he always attaches like, my sister was murdered. My sister was murdered. My sister-in-law was murdered. My brother's wife was murdered. It's always like about that, but he never says who she is, and he never talks about it. So I was like, who is this lady? Like, because he says they never caught the guy, like shit like that. Like, okay, well, why don't you? Not saying, look, I know this sounds shitty, but like, why don't you advocate for her? You know, instead of hopping on all these other cases you don't know shit about. Like, what about that one? But again, like, I kind of feel bad saying that, but then I found out like who she was and the circumstances, and now I don't, because like, what the fuck, dude? It was his brother's ex who was like trying to get away from him and didn't want anything to do with him, and they didn't get along, and she never liked him, and they had been apart for a while. And yeah, she got murdered in her home, in her apartment, and like stabbed a lot. And like, I believe it was stabbed. It might have been stabbed or choked, but it was bad. It was bad. It didn't look good. Let's just say that. And it seems very invasive. And there were about 4 or 5 others that happened around that time. But a lot of people, when they wrote about it, everything that I noticed was drug related. Like, I guess she was with another guy who got murdered in a car with her, and he was like giving her a ride. And they believe, I guess, that her ex did it, and then he was in prison at the time, so it couldn't have been him. So a lot of people think that the ex, I guess it's her other, like, so she was with a guy after the brother and was living with him, I guess, and that guy killed or was in prison for killing another drug dealer. But I believe they said it was robbery, and then he had someone go kill this guy while he was in there. That's what I read about it. It's like, okay, and I guess she was in the car because I don't know if she was dating that guy. She says that it was a stranger and she was just getting a ride. And apparently they think that she was murdered for her silence because she was the only witness to that. So with that said, I just think it's kind of weird. And then I started looking into it, and I guess she was like married to his brother at one point, and then they were apart, like divorced. And the brother like hated her and was talking shit about her. And I think she had a kid, and she didn't like him either, like his brother, like M, whatever. And yeah, there's also speculation that the brother could have done it, but I don't know. You know, I didn't look that hard into it, but it was just kind of weird. It's like, that's kind of a weird thing to attach yourself to. And Colin did not do it. How dare you? But I did think it was very strange. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to, have to look into that some more, because it, like, who breaks into this apartment and stabs someone? Or kill. I can't remember if she was stabbed or strangled or both, but it was bad. She got essentially assaulted to death. But another thing that was weird is there was a post on Reddit of someone who found an old like 80s or 90s I think it was 80s, maybe even late 70s, like Polaroid or Kodak thing where you would take pictures and it was like a slideshow. And in it, there was one negative for a photo that was taken, and it was stuck in the middle. And it was a woman, and she very much murdered, a ton of blood. It was some Dexter shit. But it was an original picture from that, and he was gonna buy it at a Goodwill, and then he saw that, and he was like, yo, there's a crime scene. Like, there's a picture of a murdered person in this untouched, like brand new Kodak thing. Like, we should call the cops. And so the Goodwill people are like, yeah, I don't know about that. And then he called the cops, and the cops came and they took it very seriously. And they were like, wow, that does look like a murder. That's assault. We'll take that. And they took it. And the guy on Reddit was like shaking. He said, he was like, I'm fucking panicking. I called it, like, he live Reddited it. And it was crazy because the description I remember from another crime matched that photo, but it was in California. And the first one I thought of was like the M.W. Phelps ex-sister-in-law or whatever you would call her. But yeah, anyway, the point is that this type of stuff, like Tracy's killing, also reminds me a lot of Beth Ellen Vincent, who was also stabbed a lot in the front and back and head. So yeah, or I believe, I hesitate to say head. I think one of them was stabbed near the head. You have to be careful with this stuff. You don't want to get it wrong, and I probably shouldn't have even gone on that tangent. But the point is, stabbed from the front and the back. Young girl dropped on the spot right there, like at work, compared to a field, still different. It's just wild how many like, I mean, I believe she was 17 also. Like, it's crazy how many 17, 18-year-olds in that area that was happening to at the time. But anyway, we're gonna keep reading this. I just think it's weird. Immediately, like, all these cases come to mind all around that point in time, early 90s, late 80s. I would say Beth Ellen and Yogurt Shop, boom, right away. Just those for sure. And then Lane Bryant, definitely. Okay, anyway, back to this. Sorry, I went off for a minute. The police were stumped. Now, after months of intensive but mostly fruitless work by detectives, an unlikely new lead has suddenly recharged an investigation that appeared stalled. Keep in mind, it's only been a few months, but still a few months for something so brutal, that's a lot. To be honest with you, no, I couldn't have imagined it. Frederick Police Chief Richard Ashton said Friday. Notice it says Richard Ashton. So one of the suspects in question, last name not Ashton, his dad was at one point police chief. However, that was years before and after, not during the time. So a lot of people who say, like, oh, well, he was the son of a cop or the son of a police chief. Nope, not at the time when the murder happened. No. That's not true. So that's something that I think is very important to point out. Someone used a payphone in a supermarket near Frederick to dial a nationwide confession hotline in Las Vegas, a service that charges callers by the minute to tape record their secrets for strangers who call and pay to listen. Hello, began the caller that night last June. My name is Dawn, and I'm calling from Frederick, Maryland. I know this is going to sound surprising, but 3 months ago, I stabbed a girl to death. He went on to give a few details. He said that he thought about surrendering to police, but decided against it. Thanks for listening, he concluded. I'm sorry for what I did, but nothing can change it. Bye. So basically, he used it as the apology line. An attorney for the hotline turned over a copy of the tape to Las Vegas police, Ashton said, and it was forwarded to police in Frederick, a city of 45 miles northwest of Washington, this past week. Ashton gave copies to 4 radio stations, which broadcast the confession simultaneously at 9:15 a.m. Thursday, the first anniversary of Tracy Kirkpatrick's death. 2 hours later, someone called police and positively identified the voice, Ashton said. Now, that person, by the way, this article was in 1990. This person whose voice was positively identified ended up being the suspect in front of the grand jury. Ashton said the name the caller gave was that of a man already considered a suspect, though not a strong one. Investigators approached him for the first time Thursday night. He declined to answer questions. Now, I found this annoying. If he was already considered a suspect, why did investigators only approach him for the first time that week, a year later? That is crazy to me. That's a problem. So, police went back with a search warrant shortly after 1 a.m. Friday and took items from his body, including a hair sample, and from his home. He has not been charged in the case. The Maryland State Police Crime Lab will compare the items seized with evidence from the crime scene. Results may take several weeks. Keep in mind, they did not have CODIS back then. This is 1990. CODIS was not developed, I believe, until 94, and it was not really used or expansive in any way until at least 96. The chief waits anxiously. Realistically, he said, even if he did make that call, it doesn't mean he killed Tracy Kirkpatrick. It's important to keep that in perspective. Yet, we hope everything we seized tightens a knot around his neck. So, interesting thought. Interesting thought. Also, if you go to Amazon right now, you can get a Sol de Janeiro. I'm so sorry. Okay. So, with that said, now that we have read the article and we have heard about what happened to that guy, we are going to listen one more time. Okay. Just one more time. And then we're going to talk apology line because I'm going to show you some cool stuff. Okay. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to play this one more time for you. And if you want to look up more on this or watch the old Unsolved Mysteries episode, it's Tracy Kirkpatrick, and it is spelt correctly under the video. And I will post a link to it as well. Here we go.
Hello, my name is Don, and I'm calling from Frederick, Maryland. I know this is going to sound surprising, but 3 months ago, I stabbed a girl to death. And you might think that in making this tape, I'm setting myself up to be caught. But there are a lot of guys named Don in Frederick. The girl I killed was working in a ladies' sportswear store. I often came by and talked to her when she was working alone. And one night when she was in the storeroom and we were talking, our conversation turned into an argument. And so I took out a knife that I have with me at all times and I killed her. And a few days later I realized that I had created a lot of sadness. And I thought about turning myself into the police. But whatever they do to me, that won't bring Tracy back. So I decided that I better keep free because we have the death penalty in Maryland. Thanks for listening. I'm sorry about what I did, but nothing can change it. Bye.
So, with that said, that guy, obviously, wackadoo. Death penalty in Maryland really scares him, apparently. Now, the guy that they did inevitably name as the main suspect, let me give you a little update on some of that, okay? So, in March of 1994, Corporal Robert Servicek, who took over the investigation into her murder, I said that they identified a prime suspect in this case. So that was 4 years later. At the time of the murder, the man lived in Frederick with his family. He was an acquaintance and former coworker of Tracy's, who was a few years older than her. According to Servicek, jealousy, anger, and revenge were the motives for her murder. She reportedly thought of the man only as a friend. When he read too much into the relationship, it would not let her go. Servicek was certain that the man was Tracy's killer based on a large amount of circumstantial evidence against him. In May of 1994, a grand jury convened to hear the evidence against the suspect. 46 witnesses testified. The grand jury voted to indict him. However, the deputy state attorney declined to prosecute him because he did not believe that she would be able to win a conviction. Servicek later claimed that the political and personal agendas and people not doing their jobs prevented the arrest from being made. The man calling himself Don and Sean was later ruled out as a suspect. In 2009, police noted that 2 suspects developed over the years remain viable. One is the suspect investigated by the grand jury in 1994, aka the older guy. Police have also stated that they do not have enough evidence to charge anyone at this time. Samples of evidence found at the crime scene have been submitted several times in an attempt to obtain any DNA profiles. So far, they have been unsuccessful. One of the potential suspects is believed to be Don Barnes Jr., the security guard who found Tracy's body. His daughter allegedly claimed that he was abusive towards her and her mother. She also believes that he was involved in Tracy's murder and had over an hour to cover up the crime. His father was the police chief at the time of her murder. That part I found to be wrong, but I want to go back and double check. Because I do wonder if maybe police chief somewhere else, or maybe if he quit right after, oh shit. But I believe there was like a 3-year difference. I need to go back and double check and confirm that. And some have suggested that he covered up evidence in this case. However, this has not been confirmed. Tracy's killer has yet to be identified or apprehended. Also, I should say, Barnes Jr., so his dad, everything I could find on him when he was chief was that he was like some beloved dude and he was in like a band, and that he was just like a really nice guy and a lot of people liked him. And it was a big like sad boohoo when he left. And I just found that kind of odd because usually you at least, you can leave that open, babe. Usually you at least hear like a little bit of, oh, that guy was kind of a dick, you know? And then I have to consider it was his son. But anybody who would cover up that, still kind of a dick, right? So it was just an odd profile. However, not outside of the boundaries of disbelief, right? Like we can all get on board, I'm sure, with situations where sometimes police try to cover up things that aren't exactly, good for them. So with that said, now that we have talked a little bit about Tracy and I gave you some updates on that, let's go back to apology line stuff. And what I would like to do is I would like to open it by playing some of the uncut gems for you guys again. Again, trigger warning, some of this shit is really crazy. We did listen to quite a few of these last time. I don't think we listened to all of them, but we did listen to a good chunk of them. But I'm going to go ahead and start playing from the very beginning. I think we played the answer machine greeting and then we skipped around. In this case, I'm going to let it play through at least 6 of them because there's a murder at the 49-second mark that I think is a bit odd. And also I do think 7 is kind of funny, track 7. So I'm going to play some of these and then I'm going to show you guys the Apology Line magazine, because for those of you who didn't listen to the podcast, Apology Line, which was up by Wandry for a while on YouTube. Now I think you can go back and catch some of it elsewhere, but you can definitely find it on the Wayback Machine. Incredible podcast. Alan Bridges' wife put it out about the Apology Line. And I found the uncut gems still up available on Wayback Machine. So we're going to listen to those. Those are just random people who call in. Some of the stuff they say is really fucking crazy. I don't condone anything that they say. I just want to put that out there right now. This was literally an art experiment this guy did that we're going to be playing. So if you're unfamiliar with this, these are just random callers calling into a phone line to apologize for whatever they want. They are completely anonymous and they are given the freedom to say whatever they want. And then this guy would record it and then play it back to the public. So they could call in anytime and hear the apologies of strangers. And the reason we started listening to it, because I wanted to show you guys a couple of people that one of them in particular who was believed to be a serial killer. That was, as far as we know, either caught and no one ever knew he called into the apology line, or he has remained uncaught or possibly dead. We don't know now. And another guy who strangely describes one specific case very close, and the only one that seems to match the time frame is that of a case for a little boy in Massachusetts named Henry Bedard Jr., who we have talked about quite a bit, and we are going to be talking about a lot more soon. And Tombstones has been doing a fuckload of work on that case and looking into it. And I'd like to have her on to talk about it once we get further into this rabbit hole again. We dipped our toes in before. We did watch some found footage of where Henry's body was found from a very special fella who took us in the woods and was just, wow, what an interesting individual. We'll just say that. But I'm going to play you guys some of these, and then I'm going to show you the magazine that was put out in conjunction with the Apology line in the 90s, the early 90s, when Mr. Apology was trying to do something even more creative and get back to his artistic roots with this, because it had kind of gone off the rails with a lot of people calling in to confess to murder. So with that said, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and play these. And we are going to be doing our own version of the Apology line soon. And I'm setting that up again as we speak. And here we go.
Hello, this is Apology. Apology is not associated with the police or any other organization, but rather is a way for you to tell people what you have done wrong and how you feel about it. All statements received by Apology will be played back to the public, so please do not identify yourself. Talk for as long as you want. If you prefer a taped interview with me, leave a number. Thank you.
Yeah. My name is Mike DeVito, and I'm a mugger of sorts. You see, I beat homosexuals, and I take their money off. Just for this, not that I really need the money. I just like to beat homosexuals. And some once in a while they wear gold. I take their gold jewelry too. Sometimes I let them pick me up, and let them take me to their apartment. And then I ravaged their apartments. One time I even killed one. I put a cold blade and it sucked his chest. I hate homosexuals. And I feel really good about killing them because they're the scum of the earth. They're crazy, they're sick people. And I think they should all be done away with.
I'd like to talk to you very personally. I'm a 20-year-old male, homosexual. I'm having a lot of trouble dealing with the fact, and I don't know what to do about it. It's really intimidating me. I've really been living with this for quite a few years, and I've never dealt with the idea. It's really, really scary. I'm really excited about the whole situation, and I'm afraid it might take my life. It's really very scary for me, you know? I mean, it's scary. Really scary. Really. Couldn't you help me, Bruce? Do you think you could help? I appreciate your help. Thanks.
Yes, my apology is not my apology, it's a state apology. Look at the damage that the state did. Why you would have a right to ask the individual to apologize for what? The state is the one that made the individual. Look at your jails. Look at your institutions. Mentally, or your financial institutions. Look at your ghettos. Go up and downtown and look. And you want the individual to apologize. You got some damn nerve. Who are you? Where's the churches? Where's the synagogues? Where's the mosques? Where's the people got billions of dollars tax-free money? And you want somebody to apologize? What right? Me guilty? I'm not guilty. The state is guilty. The state is the one that apologize how they got the masses in such dire condition. Apology. You really have nerve, don't you? Who are you anyway? Who set you up? Would you set up by the CIA or some other damn stupid organization? What right? I have not committed a crime against the individual. The state has been one who has committed a crime against individuals. Apologies? No. I don't think that you want to talk to me.
Well, you see, it's like this. 2 years ago, when the blackout happened, I broke into a store and stole $10,000 worth of merchandise and went running around the streets hysterically for days afterwards. The guy never found out. I've made a lot of money on the deal, and unfortunately, I feel very good about it. Now, I'm sorry, this isn't a joke. This is for real. I hope other people apologize, but I feel very good because the guy I took the stuff from made out like a bandit with the insurance company, and everything's hunky-dory now. Terrible morality, but so goes Rome. Bye. Sorry, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to kill her, man. This is what I was going, man, but she said she was going good.
Before we continue with Weepy Guy, the guy you just heard who looted, this is kind of important because there were, let me pop myself up. There were a lot of people who were scolding the original uploader who put this, the Uncut Gems up on YouTube, and it was up for years. And when the podcast, The Apology Line, came out, and again, I don't know, I shouldn't say again, for the first time, I don't know if it was because the Apology Line podcast had come out, and people heard it and didn't, I guess, didn't get it, or maybe they misperceived something in it. But if it's not because of that, I can't see why. But the timing was very weird. And I think because of that, that's why people were going under the Uncut Gems video, which had been up for a long time. So the person who put it up was obviously someone who had collected these over the years and happened to have like a private stash, because a lot of these, in fact, most of them aren't necessarily on the Apology Line podcast, if I remember correctly. So this other person basically had Apology Line content up already, but when his wife made the podcast, I noticed a lot of people went under the Uncut Gems content and talked shit. And they were like, this wasn't from the 80s or 70s. This was from the 90s. Why did you put, because it had said Uncut Gems 1981 to present, I believe. Let me double check. So it says from year 0. Yeah. But the thing is, in the description, it said like 81 to present. And then they changed it to 87. And then I noticed a lot of commenters were saying this was 93, this was 91. So I think what happened was they got confused and they didn't realize how old the Apology Line was. And people were just giving their opinion as if they were experts and didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. Now, when I went back and went through everything I've collected over the years that has to do with the Apology Line, which I have a ton, I can say with full confidence that the dates on Uncut Gems are not only dead ass accurate, but anything that you see that says these Uncut Gems are from 91 or beyond, they're full of shit. Absolutely full of shit. Because not only is there proof of this, but in the e-zine, or it's an e-zine now, it's online now, but it was the magazine, there are quotes from these calls that have the date on them. In some of them, not in all of them, but in some of them. And when you line them up, it does make sense. Now, notice, the reason I'm pointing all this out is notice where it says a person who looted in the NYC blackout in the 70s. This, in my opinion, also backs it up, because that caller said the years before, right? This is 1981 is when this call would have been. So he's talking about this prior blackout. And if you look that up, there was one. So with that said, this whole side I noticed is everything you can find with relevance connecting it to prove it seems to indicate that a bulk of these calls on this side are 81. And then the B side, which is going to be the middle of this part on the second and the rest of the third page, those are primarily going to be around 87. So, and there are maybe 3 of them mixed in that are from the 90s. So that tells me that there were likely 4 uploaders contributing to this, or 4 people who had different shit, or maybe just one person with 4 different dates worth of Apology Line stuff, because he would put it out in bulk every couple of rounds of it. And sometimes it would take like a year. Like he would collect it, and usually it was pretty consistent, but at first it was very consistent. And then he started testing out magazines and, getting in fights with serial killers and shit like that. So it went a little bit crazy for a minute. But with that said, Why is that important? Because on the A side is where we have the Bernie call, right? And he talks about this killing that he did of a little boy. And he says, when I was in school or when I was a kid. So he sounds a bit older. And if it was the 90s, that changes everything because that means that he kind of fits his voice, right? But the only killing that we could find was in the 70s, the mid 70s, 74, 75. That's Henry Bedard. So it's like, okay, so this guy would have had to have been, he would have had to have killed him, just a couple of years ago. And he makes it sound like it wasn't decades ago. So this makes no sense. And that's when we thought it was the 90s. If this is 81, like we think, then it would have only been like what, 6-7 years before? Yeah, 1974. So that would have been 6-7 years before. So, and we have to account that he could be lying. Maybe he wasn't in school. Maybe he was a little older. But regardless, if that's the truth and he was around Henry's age, then that guy Bernie, as we call him, would have been like in his early 20s. That's kind of crazy to think because he doesn't sound like he is. He sounds like fucking Woody Allen. With that said, it makes me wonder if I still think that it's a possibility that that's him. And I do wonder if he is an older guy who did that because it does seem now, especially after seeing the black on the bat, it does seem like an older dude. It just does. But that's just something to note. I'm going to keep playing this. All right, here we go.
The cop. Said he was going to get the cops on me. So I had to kill her, man. What was I going to do? If they ever used up cat food.
Hi, listen, the first thing I wanted to do was apologize for having to call up and bug your line, but I've just had such a rough day. I'm really sorry to have to be imposing on you and taking up the time because I realize that this tape should be used by other people who really, actually need it. So I basically just wanted to apologize for bugging you in the first place. You see, I just had a really rough day. I got out of bed, I stepped on the cat's tail, I apologized to the cat, but the cat just, he just wouldn't take any kind of consolingness. I gave the cat fresh litter, I gave him new food. So then I walked in and getting the food, I dropped some on my mother's clean floor. You just don't know how sorry I was. I told my mother, I said, Ma, look, I'm really sorry, but she was just as upset at me as the cat was. The cat's walking around limping its tail. So my father comes in and says, what the hell did you do to the cat? And I said, look, I'm sorry, the cat is okay. And the mother starts yelling at me and says, look, what is it to my floor? And so my father comes to me and says, you lousy kid. He says, get out of here. I said, look, I'm sorry. And my sister comes in, and I had dinner at a new car last night. What could I do? I was driving down the Brooklyn Queens. Somebody stopped in front of me. I hit the brakes. It just didn't work. So I got out, and the officer says, you're guilty for tailgating. I said, I'm sorry, officer. What can I do? He says, sorry, Schmai. So he gave me a ticket.
I have to say, I'm cheating because I'm eating a chip. But listen, if I had to pick anyone I could relate to more that ever called in to the apology line, it's this one. It's 100% this one. It's like a sped up R. Kelly song. It's like, and then I did this, and then I did this, and then I stepped on the cat. Like, it's fucking crazy. And then at the end of spilling your fucking guts and telling someone every single detail about every moment of your entire day, you say, I'm so sorry I wasted your time. The audacity.
Tickets you just wouldn't believe. And the lady says, look what you've done to my new car. I've only had it for 6 months, and this is the first kind of dent or anything. She says, you lousy schmuck. And I said, look, listen, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. So, listen, I'm sorry for taking your time, but thank you for having this service. And hey, look, I'm sorry if this didn't come across right.
I have to say, rough as a badger's ass is very funny. Arse, funnier. And because I know you, Fuzzy Lou, and I know your accent, I know that sounds fucking hilarious. And I know that you're fucking sick because I heard you. in that voice message, and you sound fucking sick as shit, and you need to be in bed. What do you mean your chores? You should have been in bed the whole time. Go to your room. Get some sleep. Get some soup. That's assault. You're sick. Don't hyperextend yourself when you're sick, or I will tell DDP Yoga that we know you McMuffined. Okay? So you need to get some slip. Some slip. Also, happy 420, Massachusetts. Toke up. Smoke them if you got them, because the cops are trying to kill you. Can somebody please show me my new kitty? Who is a kitty? You guys have a kitty? Here's a kitty? Yeah. This is 100%. This is me, number 7. It's like, this is how every day is. It's like, yeah, I stepped on the dog and I cried about it for 8 hours. Shit. All right, let's keep going.
I've been married to my sister, and we've been doing this for 5 or 6 years now, and
this one's really sad. I want to skip to the one that reminds me of Melissa.
In my life, I've taken all sorts of jobs, and they've made me very crazy, so to say. And I killed a man when I was with my boyfriend, robbing a drugstore. And we killed him, but we didn't.
By the way, this one's interesting. I think
we didn't mean to.
Hold on, let's go back. In all seriousness, we should look into this one. Very curious if they caught that bitch. Second of all, this is literally, I tricked you guys. This is Melissa's late night voice messages she sends me. This is just one of them. This is just a little taste of the turd. Okay, this is what the turd's like. All right, this is 10 proof turd. All right, this is 10 proof turd. All right, this is exactly how the turd behaves at night. 100%. This is the turd. This is her leaving me a voice message telling me what she did last night.
In my life, I've taken all sorts of jobs, and they've made me very...
Ding, ding, ding. That's what we're trying to do. 100%. That's what we try to do out here.
Crazy, so to say. And I killed a man when I was with my boyfriend, robbing a drugstore. And we killed him, but we didn't mean to. And we went to the hospital and they said he was dead. And we didn't get caught, but it's on my mind and it's a guilty feeling.
Caught. We didn't get caught. I'm going to guess. I mean, obviously New York. It's the apology line. So 75 to 81. Drugstore robbed by a man and a woman. All right, let's check it out.
And after that, on several occasions, we've mugged people. And well, in my life, I've taken all sorts of jobs, and they've made me very crazy, so to say. And I killed a man when I was with my boyfriend, robbing a drugstore. And we killed him, but we didn't mean to. And we went to the house.
Annie, it's around 1 minute when she's making fun of our voices. Shut the fuck up. I'm just kidding. I would never be mean to Melissa. She scares the shit out of me. Did you hear what she did to that drugstore clerk?
In my life, I've taken all sorts of jobs, and they've made me very crazy, so to say. And I killed a man when I was with my boyfriend, robbing a drugstore.
And I killed a man when I was with my boyfriend, robbing a drugstore. Okay, Melissa, we believe you, turd.
And we killed him, but we didn't mean to.
Yo, hold up. Is this Darlene? Darlene, is this you?
In my life, I've taken all sorts.
Ah, shit. Guys, I think I just self-snitched. I just
In my life,
self-snitched
I've
on
taken
Dar. Uh-oh. Darlene, where were you?
in my life I've taken all sorts of drugs, and they've made me very.
Look, Darlene's gonna wake up and be like, I don't do voodoo, I don't do black magic, I didn't rob the drugstore. Leave me and my family alone. Darlene, we love you. You were saving lives that day. You were busy. You're right. And Reggie's right.
In my life I've taken all sorts.
Why did everyone sound like Cartman? Shut up, Mitty.
Drugs, and they've made me very crazy, so to say. And I killed a man when I was with my boyfriend.
I
robbing
killed
a
Dean.
drugstore.
Look, look, Darlene, I am in bed. I do not rob. I told you Darlene's the best, dude. She's the best one-liners. I'm in bed. I do not rob. You got out of bed to tell us that, Darlene. We was fucking with you, Darlene. We know you don't rob. You were busy saving lives that day, Darlene. Fuck. You don't have time for this shit. You were saving lives.
We killed him, but we didn't mean to. And we went to the hospital and they said he was dead. And we didn't get caught, but it's on my mind and it's a guilty feeling. And after that, on several occasions, we've mugged people. And
that's a good point, but this was 81. 91, definitely, dude. Yeah. That was Limelight shit. This lady, oh, I'll go back. She did a turn.
in my life, I've taken all sorts of drugs, and they've made me very crazy, so to say. And I killed a man when I was with my boyfriend, robbing a drugstore. And we killed him, but we didn't mean to. And we went to the hospital and they said he was dead. And we didn't get caught, but it's on my mind and it's a guilty feeling. And after that, on several occasions, we've mugged people.
Yeah, dude, it's turd.
See, I have this friend, and I'm 12 years old, and in school, I keep on, you know.
There's another one, though. There's another one that's pretty fucking... Where is it? This one.
Well, for once, I think this is really...
Like, if I had to pick anyone who was everyone in this chat, it would be this kleptomaniac lying pot smoker. She reminds me of Marie from Breaking Bad if she stole some pot.
Original idea. My name's Mary. I'm not going to say my last name because I know you play these in public because I heard you on the radio. I steal from stores all the time. I really feel guilty. And like, I can't stop. I'm like what you call a klepto here. And like, my friends make fun of me sometimes too. I don't know what to do. But like, I can't tell my mother. I've been caught before too, and I've been caught so many times. I've been to court and everything, and I can't stop. Well, and I lie all the time. I'm a bad girl. I smoke pot and everything. I don't know how I'm going to clean up. Well, talking to your tape recorder, I don't know, it makes me feel a little bit better. But,
Pretty crazy, huh? So here's what I want to do next. And I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm hoping it does. What I'd like to do is I want to show you guys some of the old apology magazines, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a song on, all right? And I'm going to open these up. I am going to link them below. But I think what I'm going to do is, hold on, let me put a little background music on here for you. I'm going to make it real quiet, real nice and quiet like. So it's not too loud. What's a good one? What's a good one? What's the one we like to use? This one's not too bad. Okay. Let me turn it down even more. We'll just have it real low in the background. Okay. So I'm going to open these up. I'm going to share this tab instead. Okay. So I'm going to link you to this below. But this is the Apology Project. And what they wanted to do is put as much apology line stuff online as they could. And it's kind of hard to see, so I'm going to try to make it bigger for you so you can see this stuff. But this is what the front of the Apology Line magazine looked like. This is from the spring of 1993. That is too close up, but let's go ahead and make it a little smaller. That was insane. You can pretty much see it. There's Apology Magazine, Volume 1, Number 1. This is the first one ever. And this is what the front looked like. I'm assuming, what is this, Times Square maybe? Videos, girls. So he would walk around and he would, he hung out with a lot of artsy people, right? He had a friend or a neighbor who was a big time artist, and, you know, his wife was really into like art scene, and he was obviously an artist. So he would take advantage of local artists, not like take advantage of it in a bad way, but he would, you know, take advantage of his contacts and be like, yeah, you want to be in this magazine? And he would simultaneously show off the Apology Line to his friends, and he would kind of promote it using this. I think it's really cool to check out because there really are no hard copies of these except very randomly they'll pop up on here, let me see if I can make it a little bigger. There we go. They'll randomly pop up on eBay, and that's fun. But see, this is how it opened it up. So, or how it opened up. These are published quarterly, so he would put them out every 3 months, and he had a little assistant that they talk about in the magazine. I can't remember if the guy's like a teen or if he's like in his young 20s, but he was like he was an intern essentially. And he's still alive, and they talked to him on the podcast, and he loved Apology Line. And he was one of the people who hit up Mr. Apology like, yo, can we put some of this shit on the internet? Like when the internet was first coming about. And he also really wanted to help with this magazine. So here's what it had. It started out with an editorial by Mr. Apology. What is Apology? An introduction to the Apology magazine and the Apology Line, where he would just kind of write a little editorial. Church of the Apologetic Predator, a pickpocket loses himself in fines. And these are just individual stories that are basically the stories of the callers. Sometimes he would just reprint exactly what they said. There was a small spell there where he would comment on it, which was interesting. This one's called I Think You Are Satan, an interview from the early days of the Apology Line. That is one of the ones that we listened to last time. It's the guy who's like, I think you're the worst. I think you're Satan. So he comments on that because, and again, in the Apology Line podcast, his wife says that there were things that people, well, she doesn't say this exactly. I don't want to quote her, but she basically says that there are people who get under his skin a little, and you could kind of tell. And it was people like the serial killer guy, you know, Richie. It was one of those things where he's like, I cannot, oh my God. Mitty. That's good. Thank you, Apology. Thank you, Apology. I like that. I like that. Satan is our brother, and he does dress dapper. That is true. That is true. I was wrong, Brennan. You're right. 3 tales of the trade, some unusual experiences of prostitution. These are, sometimes you pick them, like if there were a bunch of them about religion. Put a bunch of religion ones. Statement of the quarter, the wheels have got to grind slowly, but they grind incredibly slow. Danger Dan catches up with his past. Dick of Death, the first part of the saga of Johnny T. Johnny T is spreading the plague. Johnny T, I believe, was a guy that was giving a lot of people, I can't remember if it was just a regular STD or if he was actually giving them like straight up AIDS, but he was bug chasing. Or I guess reverse bug chasing. He was bug giving. It was bad. And he would call and admit to that shit all the time. So there was a while there where they were tracking some of them, especially like the serial killer ones, the lady who was calling in because she was being abused, and people were like, hey, you know, I will take her in if she leaves that guy. Then page 18, an essay called Shit by the Paste Up Man. Oh, the glories of coprophilia. Is that shit? Philia? Is that hard times and the whiz, a street criminal and a corporate criminal. Then it goes down and he gives everyone nicknames, which I think is super cool, honestly. People who work for him to keep their anonymity, they get these nicknames. And I think it's fun when you listen to, let me go up a little. When you listen to, God damn it. Whatever, it's too big. When you listen to the Apology Line podcast, it is so fun to like find out like, oh, Orpheus was this kid. And oh, Mrs. Apology, oh, we're finally hearing her name. Oh, Mr. Apostle, they're interviewing him, but they give their real names now and they actually talk about their background. So that's kind of cool. It's like cracking down the fourth wall. See in this one, Beatrice is a well-established photographer for major magazines and ad agencies. These photos were submitted as a group and placed at the discretion of the editor. The model on the cover photo is Jinka. So Beatrice, he would use her work, but again, even her they'd all get nicknames because everything's supposed to be 100% anonymous, and that's super fucking cool. Okay, so if you wanted to submit letters to the editor, you would send them to this P.O. Box, Greeley Square Station in New York, New York. It is $3 per issue, $12 for 1 year, $22 for 2 years. Send well-concealed cash, money order, or check made out to Apology Magazine. How crazy is it that back in the day, you would have to snail mail someone $3 cash discreetly to get a magazine? You would never do that now. They would just take your money. Like, you would never get anything and you'd be told fuck off. But that's how it used to operate back then. You used to be able to get 10 CDs with the promise of only paying a penny, and they'd send you the CDs first and you never paid them. And then it was like, well, like that shit was wild. Anyway, let's go back. Whoops. And let's check out some more of this. Now, I'm not going to slowly go through every single page with you guys and read it all, but I am going to click through it so that you can see it all a little better. Oh, it's not going to show me the big version. Oh, great. Whatever. Let's keep going. Oops. Okay. Why did it do that? Give me this. There we go. So now we're on page 3. This is his editorial. We're not going to read it all, but I am just showing it to you. This is like a long version of it. And then you can see over here, the new Museum for Contemporary Art. So one of the ways that they made money is that they would go around and hustle, and they would ask people, him and his team, his intern, they would be like, do you want to be featured in the Apology Line magazine? And they'd go, yep. And see this, the Church of the Apologetic Predator. Hello, I'd like to apologize for something I did last night. First of all, I'd like to say that I'm a thief. I'm a pickpocket, basically. It's not something I do professionally, as it were. I do have a job, and I have friends. So as you can see, this is a person's long-ass apology that he didn't want to include in the line, so he put it in here. And it goes on and on. Look at that apology. Like, this guy took up so much of the line. This is the guy that says, I think you're Satan. A taped interview with John B. So this is a guy who called in and said, I think you're Satan. And he called back again and he kept talking shit. What's your name? What's your name? Tell the people, who are you? What's your name? Why should I tell you my name? So then they end up having an interview. And you can also hear that in an episode of the Apology Line from the podcast, but you can also hear that in the Uncut Gems. You can hear the first of this guy's calls. So he actually called the guy back and had an interview with him. And it's very interesting. And he printed it out. And I think that's great. So yeah, we're going to keep going. I'm just going to skip through so you can see a little bit more of what was in this shit. Because it's pretty cool. And then you can see escort slashes John's genitals, tales of the trade. And then this is a person who confessed to being an escort who slashed a John's genitals. And I think that this is very interesting. And when I first saw this one, I was reading it with bated breath because I was sitting there going, shit, what if this person cut up Rex's pecker? You know? It's pretty nuts. This is Danger Dan. So, yeah, that's the gist of it. I mean, we're not going to go through all the pages. There's 24 of them. Maybe I could just strangle her. I'm thinking, well, gotta be careful. Can't leave a body laying around. Like, the amount of people who called and confessed to murder is insane. And if you want to see some of them that you haven't heard, this is another place to look. I do think the art is really fucking sick. Dick of Death is a really fucked up story. That was like the original Dr. John, if you will. It's pretty crazy. Dick of Death is a good title for something. Dick of Death. And see, these are from 91, even though it came out in 93. So he does dive into the past a bit. And that is very interesting. Okay. All right. The paste of it. So this is about a guy that I love to shit, and he goes on and on. This one actually I think would be cool to do a dramatic reading of. I can see one of you kids doing a dramatic. I would love to see Turd doing a dramatic reading of I Love to Shit. If you do that, send it to me. Look, he even draws out the bowels, everything. It's very interesting stuff. Dramatic readings from the Apology Line zine would be good. I mean, it would be a lot of reading. Some of these are fucking long. Some are really short and very funny, and you're like, I'd like to hear more. But there's not more. So this is how you could call in, by the way. So this is part of the back part. No, I am not afraid to subscribe to Apology Magazine. This is how you subscribe. This is how you call. All sorts of stuff. Help. I've fallen and I can't get into heaven. I want that tattooed on me, honestly. That's pretty funny. I guess we are going to go through all of it because we're almost done. So then he would put classifieds in the back. And a lot of it was just his own. Like, I'm looking for this, this, and this. But sometimes he'd get friends who would do it and he offered ad rates. That was pretty interesting. He was kind of incorporating podcasting, magazines, and art all together. And he was advertising his friend's shit. And he was using it as a way to pull in content. And that's a lot to do in the late 80s, early 90s. So that is that. Let me go ahead and close that. I'm going to show you guys just the front cover of, hold on one second. I'm going to show you the front cover of the other ones. And I will link this so that you guys can see all of them if you want. Here you go. So these are actually under the search query, this phone number. So what I did was I took the phone number from the first magazine, I ran it through here, and then it showed me all the magazines that were under the Apology Project. Also, if you go here, you can see that somebody, boom, right there, they linked it. So if you find a hashtag or a linked topic under any of these and you click it, that's typically how you find the rest of the stuff from a person who uploaded in mass or in bulk, if it is all scattered. And I didn't want it to be scattered, so I did that and I could see it all. And these are all the different magazines. You can see volume 2 number 1, volume 3 number 3, all of them that were preserved by this individual working on the Apology Project. So that is exciting. Okay, so I am going to link that below so that you guys can peep that. And I'm going to play you a few more of these. We'll do Custer as white trash. That's so funny. Okay, let's see. This one. I'm going to start here and I'm going to play you a few more. And then we are going to probably, maybe, let's see, what time is it? I do need to go soon. Oops. Cool, it paused me. Probably going to play you guys some of the, I wanted to play you some Brennan shit and show you something interesting that I found. I'll do that after I play some more of these. All right, we'll play some more of these so you guys can hear some more Apology Line stuff. And also I'm going to say hello and I'm going to put some of your comments up. Okay, while I prep this Brenny stuff for you, because it's very interesting. All right, here we go. We're going to listen to The Disturbed Guy, which I believe, is that the one with Bernie? I should know this. All right, but either way, for those of you who just popped in, hello, V-Dot, hello, everybody. For those of you who just popped in, good morning or good late night. We're listening to some more of the Apology Line stuff. And I will link the magazine archive below. Here we go. Let's listen to some more of these.
Gee,
I don't know how to start. I've never heard or did any.
I'm right. Okay, Disturbed is him. This is Bernie talking about what we think is Henry Bedard Jr. Just our thoughts, me and Tombstones and a few others. So I'm gonna probably play this one twice more so that you guys can hear it all. But yeah, this is one of the cases we're gonna be looking at very, very soon, quite a bit more. So look up Henry Bedard Jr. if you have any questions about who this kid is and why we're interested. It will all make sense. Here we go.
Gee, I don't know how to start. I've never.
Holy fuck. Okay, I'm not trying to goof right now, but now I'm trying to goof. He does. Oh my God, I have to show this to Aunt Dab. We've listened to this, 100 times? Giardia, dude. Hello, VDOT. Look, Giardia is spreading. It went all the way back to 1981. This is fucking wild. He does say Giardia. This is like when the moose flute goes, Dab? This is crazy. Yeah, this is Bernie. We're about to listen to Bernie again. Apparently, Bernie says Giardia. Holy shit. Here we go.
Never heard or did anything like this before. Gee, I don't know how to start. I've never heard or did anything like this before. I guess what I do is I just say I'm sorry, just apologize, and then everything is all right for the different, those bad things the things I've done in my past. I want to, first of all, this is a great service. I've been feeling guilty about some of the things. I'm going to tell you what I did, but I've been feeling guilty about them, and I haven't been doing them recently. But the opportunity you've given me to apologize and tell these people that I'm sorry, it's fantastic, because then I don't feel guilty anymore. I can start doing them again, right? In other words, I just say I'm sorry, and then that's okay. And there's no more guilt. There's no more problems. I don't have to worry about police or courts or anything. Oh, you're a fantastic person. But, well, first of all, I guess going all the way back when I was a kid, there's my cousin, Louise. I met her when she was, I don't know, about 9, 10 years old. What do? I just say I'm sorry? I'm sorry, Louise. Yeah, I realize now I shouldn't have done it. Of course, I was 19 at the time. I didn't know that. Didn't know any better. I'm sorry, Louise. Oh, so everything's all right now, huh? Well, let's see. There's Henry. I killed Henry. He was a neighbor. He was a classmate of mine. The thing is, it was in the woods, and I hit him over and over again with that rock, and I killed Henry. It was partly his fault, because he shouldn't have kept teasing me about the size of my ears. And they found the body, of course, and they gave him a good funeral. He had a nice funeral, pictures in the paper and everything. They kept looking for the person who did it. They never caught that person. That's me. But I want to say I'm sorry, Henry. And again, I was a kid. I didn't know any better. Since I've been in New York, I guess I've robbed. I didn't kill anyone, no rape, but I've robbed, mugged about 15, 20 people, I don't know, stole things, watches, and their money and everything. I don't know their names. How do I apologize to them? Well, I guess, to the 15 or 20 people that I've stolen money from and mugged and robbed and frightened, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't have to say it 15 times, do I? Oh, boy, this is absolutely fantastic. I feel so much better now because I've never seen them to tell them that I'm sorry. This is a fantastic service that you're doing. Oh, boy. Well, that's a weight off my shoulder. Boy, I could go out tonight and start mugging again and doing all those things. Oh, you've changed my whole life. You've changed my whole life. I stopped doing those things because I really felt bad. It was really eating at me. So I stopped to try, doing other things. But you're the one who has changed my life and made it better because I'm always happier when I'm doing those dangerous things. That's the wonderful thing, the danger of it all, of being caught and not being caught and running away and getting $100 that you didn't have 5 minutes ago. Listen, I gotta hang up soon, but I want to tell you, I've never said I'm sorry to someone before I've heard of the person who is running this service, the person who answered the phone. I will find out who you are, and I'm telling you right now, I'm sorry, but I'm going to kill you. I've never done that. I've never said I'm sorry to someone before I've committed a crime. I am going to kill the person who is running this service. I'm going to kill you, but I'm sorry. I'm telling you right now, I'm sorry. So that'll make it all right, right? You mean there'll be no problem or anything? A lot of people live their lives and they don't do any good at all in the world. You at least will know that you've made one person happy. I mean, isn't that worth a lifetime to make one person truly happy? When I kill you, that's exciting and all. You'll make me happy. Your death will make me happy. That's why I'm going to kill you. And I'm going to find out who you are. I mean, there's no problem at all. I have friends in the telephone company. I have friends who are cops, too. They help me. They get me information and all. I know that there was an article on you in the Washington, D.C. Post, the newspaper. I'll find out who you are. I'll find out where you live. And when you least expect it, in this year, this brand new year, 1981, when you least expect it, when everything seems calm or so.
This is interesting. This call seems longer than the original call that was on the original Uncut Gems. And he says 81 in this. Or am I having a flashback? Have we been here before and I've done this like 1,000 times? Either way, interesting. I'm going back after it finishes so that we can hear him one more time. Giardianera. Yeah, I'm hearing new things too. Seems like the Uncut Gems were cut because I also noticed that when I download, because I did download this in bulk, so if it ever goes away, we're not fucked. But what's interesting is this is a shorter. Oh, you know what? That wasn't Alan Bridges' account. That was Alan Bridges' account that was on YouTube. That was somebody else. So it was cut. So this is actually more of the Bernie call. Yeah, lots of new info. So the person who put this up on YouTube, well, we're starting it over. The person who put this up on YouTube clearly did not put the whole thing. Cool. Well, we're hearing more of it then. And I think last time we even paused it. Yeah, this dude. All right, let's play it again.
I don't know how to start. I've never heard or did anything like this before. I guess what I do is I just say I'm sorry, just apologize, and then everything is all right for the different, those bad things
I think we heard this longer version last time, but only once. So I am going to let it keep playing.
The things I've done in my past. I want to, first of all, this is a great service. I've been feeling guilty about some of the things. I'm going to tell you what I did, but I mean, I've been feeling guilty about them, and I haven't been doing them recently.
Well, dude, we are. She's coming on here.
The opportunity you've given me to apologize and tell these people that I'm sorry, it's fantastic, because then I don't feel guilty anymore. I mean, I can well, I can start doing them again, right? In other words, I just say I'm sorry, and then that's okay. And there's no more guilt. There's no more problems. I don't have to worry about police or courts or anything. Oh, you're a fantastic person. But, well, first of all, I guess going all the way back when I was a kid, there's my cousin, Louise. I forget her when she was, I don't know, about 9, 10 years old. What do? I just say I'm sorry? I'm sorry, Louise. Yeah, I realize now I shouldn't have done it. Of course, I was 19 at the time. I didn't know that. Didn't know any better. I'm sorry, Louise. Oh, so everything's all right now, huh? Well, let's see. There's Henry. I killed Henry. He was a neighbor. He was a classmate of mine. The thing is, it was in the woods, and I hit him over and over again with that rock, and I killed Henry. It was partly his fault, because he shouldn't have kept teasing me about the size of my ears. And they found the body, of course, and they gave him a good funeral. He had a nice funeral, pictures in the paper and everything. I mean, they kept looking for the person who did it. They never caught that person. That's me. But I want to say I'm sorry, Henry. And again, I was a kid. I didn't know any better. Since I've been in New York, I guess I've robbed. I didn't kill anyone, no rape, but I've robbed, mugged about 15, 20 people, I don't know, stole things, watches, and their money and everything. I don't know their names. How do I apologize to them? Well, I guess, to the 15 or 20 people that I've stolen money from and mugged and robbed and frightened, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't have to say it 15 times, do I? Oh, boy, this is absolutely fantastic. I feel so much better now because I've never seen them to tell them that I'm sorry. This is a fantastic service that you're doing. Oh, boy. Well, that's a weight off my shoulder. Boy, I could go out tonight and start mugging again and doing all those things. Oh, you've changed my whole life. You've changed my whole life. I stopped doing those things because I really felt bad. It was really eating at me, so I stopped to try.
Also, we have to say he was killed with a bat, and he was on the Swampscott baseball team. And here's what's also interesting. Dave Portnoy was on the Swampscott baseball team, I think a few years later. But that's just an interesting thought. But even he has commented in the past on what a small, tight-knit community that is. And Henry was attending a birthday party, or his friend had a birthday party that night, I believe. And so did his sister had just had, was it a birthday tombstones? And he was getting her a present. It might have been, what was it? Was it Christmas? I don't remember. He was getting her a present, and he took an interesting route to do that. And one of those routes was through where these other kids were having a party, like just right past it. And then it was a Christmas present, yeah. And he had taken a bus and walked, I believe, right, to get to the spot where it was like a little shopping center where he would get her that present. And so it was very cold, and he skipped through this area in the woods that we actually went through and looked at. And it's very isolated. Yeah, it was perfume. So another thing is, Toombs had a colorized photo of the bat, and we realized that a part that looks in the black and white pictures like it could be scraped off actually has a big burn spot on it, which is interesting, and it kind of changes the perspective of the entire thing. And that, I believe, is in our Discord if you want to take a look at it. But yeah, me and Tombstones have poured over yearbooks, and also the baseball team is kind of separate. Oh, it was a neighbor that had a party. I thought that the little kids knew him. And that was a Christmas present. Yes. So these little kids, these neighbors, were having a party that night, and they were the ones who ended up finding, I believe, the Christmas present in his wallet, if I remember correctly. It was December 16th, 1974. Thank you, Tombstones. They found his wallet, they found some of his stuff, and they were like, oh shit. And then they went back the next day, I believe, and that's when they found out he was missing, and then they reported it. So that was pretty interesting, the whole timeline of events. And his sister is pretty much, I believe, the only person alive aside from one of his best friends who says he still keeps Henry's photo on his fridge and cries about it. They're still alive. But yeah, it's very interesting. The neighborhood kid Cliff Goodman had a party that night, and he was 10 at the time, and Henry was a few years older. So yeah, that kid had a party that night. And I believe he found Henry the following day with another boy. Yeah, they found Henry and his stuff. I forgot they were the ones who found him. Shit. Yeah, and that traumatized that fucking kid apparently pretty bad. But yeah, I'm going to play the rest of this, and then we're going to...
You changed me, Henry, and again, I was just...
and then we're going to move on to some other stuff. But we are going to be coming back and talking about this quite a bit, and we're going to be doing some Henry Bedard Jr. stuff in the near future. And I still want to put out, because there are so many people out there who are so good at OSINT and snooping and doing stuff, looking into stuff from the past and old school research. If there is another Henry that died in the woods in the circumstances that this guy's talking about anywhere in the U.S. Pre-1974, maybe even going back to the 50s, if we're going to presume this guy is older, I would love to hear about it, but I have yet to find any that really fit his description in a way that makes me take pause and go, oh shit. I'm talking a school-age kid, so, middle school to high school, or elementary to high school even, who is in the woods, bludgeoned. Maybe he's lying about with what, but let's say a rock. If you find anyone that matches that description who had a big funeral that was in the paper, please let us know. Please let us know. I'm going to keep going with this.
Kid, I didn't know any better. Since I've been in New York, I guess I've robbed. I didn't kill anyone, no rape, but I've robbed, mugged about 15, 20 people, I don't know. Stole things, watches, and their money and everything. I don't know their names. How do I apologize to them? Well, I guess, to the 15 or 20 people that I've stolen money from and mugged and robbed and frightened, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Also, no, he said it's 1981 right now. Like when he's making the call, it's 1981.
I don't have to say it 15 times, do I? Oh boy, this is absolutely fantastic. I feel so much better now because I've never seen them to tell them that I'm sorry. This is a fantastic service that you're doing. Oh boy. Well, that's a weight off my shoulder. Boy, I could go out tonight and start mugging again and doing all those things. Oh, you've changed my whole life. You've changed my whole life. I stopped doing those things because I really felt bad. It was really eating at me. So I stopped to try, doing other things. But you're the one who has changed my life and made it better because I'm always happier when I'm doing those dangerous things. That's the wonderful thing, the danger of it all, of being caught and not being caught and running away and getting $100 that you didn't have 5 minutes ago.
Well, goddamn Lord, does it sound like your dad? Does it? You should play this for him and see what he says. It is kind of creepy though, huh? It is weird when the lines like that. Fuck, I freaked out when I saw Henry's news article the first time a long ass time ago. I was like, Jesus, well, this kind of fits except for the fucking weapon. I was surprised that there's still like a website up and stuff. Crazy. I agree.
I gotta hang
I
up here,
agree.
but I want to tell you,
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I've never said I'm sorry to someone before I've heard of the person who is running this service, the person who answered the phone. I will find out who you are, and I'm telling you right now, I'm sorry, but I'm going to kill you. Yeah, I've never done that. I've never said I'm sorry to someone before I've committed a crime. I am going to.
Dude, I have to agree completely, because if there's one thing that we've learned about crazy people, it's that they like to project. Isn't that right, class? Didn't we all learn that? They love to do that. So I can 100% see that. Absolutely.
Kill the person who is running this service. I'm going to kill you, but I'm sorry. You know, I'm telling you right now, I'm sorry. So that'll make it all right, right? You mean there'll be no problem or anything? You know, a lot of people live their lives and they don't do any good at all in the world. You at least will know that you've made one person happy. I mean, isn't that worth a lifetime to make one person truly happy? When I kill you, you know, that's exciting in order. You'll make me happy. Your death will make me happy. That's why I'm going to kill you. And I'm going to find out who you are. I mean, there's no problem at all. I have friends in the telephone company. I have friends who are cops, too. They help me. They get me information and all. I know that there was an article on you in the Washington, D.C. Post, the newspaper. I'll find out who you are. I'll find out where you live. And when you least expect it, in this year, this brand new year, 1981, when you least expect it, when everything seems calm or so, your death will come. And, the way you know, I'll be there. I'm going to do it. And I'll say to you, Bernie, telephone call, and you will know. You will make the connection and know that I've followed through on exactly what I said I would do, which is your death. But I'm sorry. I'm telling you right now, I'm sorry, because I'm not going to have time then to say I'm sorry to you. I'm saying I'm sorry now. Okay? This is a wonderful service. I mean, this is really great. You just say you're sorry, and then everything is all right. Jesus, I bet a lot more people would be out doing what I'm doing. The world would be full of people like me if we just knew that all we had to do was just say I'm sorry and everything is all right. You're an absolutely fantastic person, and you're going to make me very, very happy when I kill you. Thanks.
Out here in the street, and I feel like I want to kill someone. I'm tired of all of this that's been happening to me. No one don't want to try to understand me. I can't live like this anymore. I'm ready to kill someone. No one don't want to try to understand me. I've been trying so hard through my whole life to have something. I just want to kill someone. I want to kill the evil. I want to kill.
I'm going to let it play through like one or two more, and then I'm going to pull up the Brennan stuff. Heads up.
Done wrong to me. I want to die myself. I have nothing to live for. So why am I here?
I did a lot of things, ripped off people, stabbed people. But you know what? A lot of people turn me around too. What goes around comes around. I believe in karma. And some of the things I regret, most of it I just block out of my mind. And like everybody that I ever ripped off. And I didn't really feel bad about it. I was just scared that they would find me. And I did a lot of, sold a lot of people drugs, but that bothers me because, like, I've had people die on the drugs that I've sold. But it's just something I gotta live with. So, that's it.
I'd like to apologize for being such a sorry person. My preacher's wife was counseling me on alcoholism. They're a married couple. I'm 30 and they're 30. And I had a sexual encounter with her. And I feel sorry and I need to apologize to somebody for messing up her. Her husband was almost impotent, in which I attacked the woman. I had oral and discuss with her. And I feel just plumb damn guilty, like I should just end it all. Thank you. I embezzled $400,000 from a bank over a period of 6 years. I feel very guilty about it, but I never got caught. I did send IRS some money after I felt very guilty to cover certain tax expenses. If I have a chance to do it again, I probably would repeat it since I have been able to live like a king. Hi, I'm a police officer in Wisconsin, and many, many times I make the mistake of, when I arrest people, of just getting a little too carried out of line, and I just end up beating their ass. And I got to tell you, most of the time it feels really good, but every once in a while I look back on it and I'm not real happy. I just wanted to say I'm sorry to all those poor souls out there that wake up black and blue the next day after I beat the shit out of them. Thank you.
I just yesterday, it was 2 weeks ago, ripped off. How can I do this? I feel like I'm back in confession again.
All right. So that is the apology line, Uncut Gems. He did. He sounded like Matthew McConaughey. He absolutely did. That was pretty crazy. All right. I am prepping some of this Brennan stuff and I'm almost done with it, but I wanted to pull a specific part and I think I had some audio to back it up. Here's what you can do. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you ever have a case that you're looking into that goes to like the Supreme Court or the state Supreme Court or sometimes even appeals, you can usually FOIA or you can go to there's a university that actually collects, and it might be Vanderbilt. I need to pull it out of the OSINT worksheet. I was going to add it to some of the research resources for February, but it is it's an archive of a lot of audio from court hearings of the past, and I ordered some. In some instances, you can find it free through the Library of Congress. In some of them, you can go through a free portal at a university. And in some of the archives, they do actually charge, like the Vanderbilt Television News Archive, for example. You can literally find damn near anything that has been on national news through that archive, and you can get a copy of that news. You can also get some local there. You can get the footage that's in their archive, but it's typically like $30, and they transpose it to essentially, or convert it, I should say, to online format. So you can get an MP4 of it, but it's going to cost you $30 and you can never own it. And you're only allowed to utilize it or access it through the portal for 30 days. And then they said use it for 30 days, which I don't understand what that means, but I think you have license to post it. I did write to them asking them, what the fuck does this mean? And I did not get a response back because I did want to put some in a video for you guys. What are you doing, Mookies? To show you. Hugin says hello. Hugin says hello. What are you doing? What are you doing? Those aren't snacks. Don't do that. Good boy. Okay, sorry. He goes under his dad's desk when his dad leaves and he licks the cords, which is pretty weird. Maybe that's why you get the rashes on your butt. So with that said, all hail the Hugin, absolutely. What I'm gonna put that up. That needs to be on the screen forever. All hail the Hugin, hail him. Yes, absolutely. Did you hear that? They said, hail. Daddy will be right back. Daddy will be right back. Daddy went to the store to get snakes. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to show you guys was some footage of Hank Brennan in court in some other cases that have not been put on the internet yet that I could find. And some of the interesting things that he says. One of them is just a transcript that I was able to pull. Couldn't find it anywhere else. Thought it was very interesting. And then I thought, let's go to Judy Records, and the actual court work or the court paperwork is available there. So I was like, fuck it. We'll just pull that and we'll look at that. And we'll read some of it because it's very interesting. And one of the ones that I wanted to show you was from a totally different case involving Brennan. Like none of the ones we've spoken about. It was a case involving a guy in the electric company that ended up this same guy. Someone in his family was represented by Brennan in the Whitey case, and it was just interesting how that worked. And I was thinking about, public defenders and how they get their work. And in his case, he was a private defender, so it was very interesting. It was like, so I wonder if this guy gave his number to this guy, and we're all thinking like, why would Hank take this case? So I was just reading too much into it, but I ended up finding something very interesting. So before I get into that, because I need to pull the exact part. I want to see if I can find the actual video of it, but I don't think there's video of him repeating it. But I'm looking in my history and through my files, and if I can pull it in the next 3 minutes, I'll show it to you. If not, we're just going to read it. But I do think it's a very cool stuff. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play. I'll play you some of this. We'll do a little S Dog and T-Bird. Or we'll do, while I look through this. Here, we'll do the, we'll do Accident Stink. This one's, no, that one's disgusting. There was one called The Most Unsettling VHS Video Ever, and it is really kind of like, oh, shit. I'm not going to make you look. Let's watch S Dog and T-Bird. It's been a while since one. Some old Ricky Lake. Why not? Or what about I dissed you when you were fat, and now you're not? No, that one was mean. I think we did watch that before. Okay, here. I'm going to put you kids on hold with some of this shit for a second. I'll be right back.
14 children die by gunfire. The average age of the children being killed is 11 to 17. The average age of their killers is also 11 to 17. Most of these kids have yet to go to their first prom, and yet they say they need to carry guns for protection, and that all their friends have them too. These kids say it is the only way to survive. Meet S-Dog and T-Bird. They both run with a gang in their hometown. S-Dog says you need a gun so that the others know who is boss. S-Dog is 13 years old. T-Bird has been carrying a gun since she was 10. She says you got to bust them before they bust you. T-Bird is only 14 years old. Also meet Michael. Michael says fighting with fists is old-fashioned. Either you have a gun or you're going to lose your life. Michael is 17 years old. And LaShonda. LaShonda says you always have to be prepared, so she even takes her gun to parties. LaShonda is 18 years old. 18, 16? 16. Now, S-Dog, I'm going to start with you. Why do you feel like you need a gun?
Well, everybody else has them, and if you don't have one, then, it's either shot or shoot someone. They're going to shoot you, but if they shoot you, you're just going to shoot them before die.
So you're saying that every one of your friends has a gun?
Just about, yeah.
So how do you go about getting a gun?
Well, my homeboys give them to me.
So So they just give them to you? Do you have to pay money? Do you?
Yeah, well, see, they have the money so they can buy them.
So they buy them so you can protect yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, T-Bird, what about you? Why do you feel like you need to carry a gun?
Because it's kill or be killed. That's how I see it. It's like, if I don't have a gun, then somebody with a gun who's mad at me will shoot me before I can shoot them.
So what would it take for someone to be mad enough at you? I mean, you're laughing, but in their neighborhood, this is the way it is. What would it... Where you're asking where are they from? Where are you from?
We're from Denver.
From Denver. Wait a minute. Excuse me. Have all of you been to Denver? Yes? Now, what would it take? I mean, you say if someone's mad at you, they can take out a gun and kill you. What would somebody get mad at you enough? What would you do that would make them mad enough to want to kill you?
We're in a gang.
You're in a gang.
Yeah.
So just because you're in the opposite gang means enough for them to shoot you?
Yeah.
Isn't enough?
Well, I mean, I have a homegirl that's a Crip, but I grew up with her. So her name is Little Drive-By. So.
How did you learn to shoot a gun?
I learned from my homeboys. They shot.
So have either of you ever shot at anyone?
Yeah.
You have? Yes.
I said, have you ever killed anyone?
I don't know.
No.
What do you mean you don't know?
Because, I mean, we would shoot into crowds and stuff like that. Of Crips, of Ks.
But still, they're still human beings.
So they do the same to us. They do the same to our homeboys, our homegirls.
Okay, what is everybody reacting to? Yes, stand up.
I would like to say, why are you in a gang if you know being in a gang is going to cause you to lose your life? Why not get out of the gang and just try to foster some kind of unity in your community?
You don't know our lives. You don't know where we
What is it like for you? Tell us. What is your life like?
Well, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know by us just...
Tell us. Educate us. I mean, we want to learn. We want to know what it's like for you.
It's like every day we wake up. It's like war. It's like... You all can laugh, but you don't know.
You know, as you get older, you realize the stupid things that you've done, and you think back and you say, wow, that was so stupid. But it's gonna be a shame that you're not even gonna get older. You're not gonna be able to get older to see that. You have to wake up. That's not right. It's not right at all. All of y'all. You're sitting here.
What are these kids supposed to do? They say that all of their friends have guns.
I mean, what are they gonna follow the pack? You gotta be different. You gotta be your own person. You're sitting up here with your mad faces.
Dude, Ricky like fucking rules. All right, here's the deal. Oh shit, Team Jewel. Ooh, I am gonna play that actually. That's very funny. Okay, so if you're just joining us, that was S Dog and T Bird. They definitely did a murder. They shot into a crowd of K's, which apparently is Crips. And with that said, you know, when did they do this? Because I couldn't find a record of it, and I genuinely looked. Laura, thank you for the $1.99, a little puta for your fruta, you say? Just kidding, it's $1, but I appreciate you very, very much. And it's actually $1.99, $1 for my puta? For a fruta? Okay, I will go get a fruta. All right, so it won't let you say it. That's fucking bullshit. Really? I'm gonna write to YouTube. I'm mad. Yeah, Ricky is upset because no one believed. I bet Ricky raged that night. She was Ricky violence. You have to meet violence with violence. It's absolutely true. Fuck it. We are gonna watch Team Jewel because we've only seen this once, and I feel like it was not appreciated enough. And then I'm gonna look. I couldn't find the other Brennan video I wanted to, and the reason I mainly wanted to is because I wanted to compare it to the one I'm gonna read you and to trial footage with when it came to the experts in their testimony, because he has a bit of a playbook. And you know how in like football and basketball and all the different balls, you can kind of look at a playbook from the past and go, no, they're gonna run flea flicker, nickel dicker, or whatever the fuck. So what is it called? Flea flicker, nickel dicker, or whatever. Nickel blitz. I don't know them all. It doesn't matter. You can look at their past plays and you can kind of predict future shit. And yeah, we're gonna do some hanky panky. I'm gonna show you some hanky panky stuff. Because he kind of has a repetitive way of going about representing his clients, whether it is a fucking murderer in the head of the scariest mob ever next to the Italian mob in Cosa Nostra, or you know, someone like the Commonwealth, which happened to both apparently do horrible things to people. So we're gonna watch that after I train you guys with a training montage. You need to be trained. You're all feral. So watch this, and this is how we're gonna do things here from now on. All right, this is it. These are the new rules. We have new rules. All right, and these are them.
So tell me again, why are we here so early? Hi, Stephanie. Hey, nice outfit. Yeah, just like everybody else. Dark pants, white shirt. And it's okay. I kind of like it. We look like a team.
You may have the grill down pat, but there's more to working at Wendy's than that. Seems to me you got a lesson to learn.
I'm Sister Sam, now you'll listen to me, cause I'm the queen of sandwich making, and I'll always be.
Hi, I'm Rob Cleveland, a different kind of host, the host of ATV, Arby's Television.
As a team member at Chick-fil-A, you're the most important person in customer satisfaction. But you've got enemies. They're doing everything they can to make your job difficult.
Hey lady, look over here, it's a big juicy pile of trash! Now the Duke here is the baddest when it comes to the grill, but sandwich making's cooler, you get my drift, Bill. There's one thing to remember while in front of the line, you are the star, and Billy, you're gonna shine.
I decided to find out what good service really is. So I asked some experts. It's answering questions and helping.
It's dressing like a professional all the time.
It's being responsive.
Now, add one 28-ounce portion pack of extra heavy mayonnaise, and only extra heavy mayonnaise.
White is for the mayonnaise. You know ketchup is red. The pickles are the green. You make them evenly spread. You gotta do it.
Oh, and do you smoke? No, but I remember smoking is only permitted in the employee lunchroom. Hey, good memory. Maybe you should be training me.
If a customer doesn't get a good first impression of Chick-fil-A, they aren't going to think much of you.
That's right, and look who's out there working against you.
Absolutely. It's time for us to go. And until we meet next time, let's all do the Sub Shop Wrap.
Arby's Sub Shop Wrap.
Arby's Sub Shop Wrap.
4 kinds of love for your money back.
You can't stop doing the Arby's Sub Shop Wrap.
Last week, I was on a college interview, and they were really impressed when they saw Jewel on my application.
I really think I made the right decision in coming to work here.
Hey, Bill, did you get your last order? Need any help? No way, man. I've got you covered. Let's rock and roll.
Arby's Sub Shop Wrap.
Wrap. Come on, I'll walk you out.
Hi, Stephanie. Hey, Kevin.
Hi, Maria.
Forgot you worked here. Good to see you. Hey, Stephanie. How you doing?
I think she's doing just great.
You're looking good in all you do. Make a new friend.
I'm confused. Was that chick fucking the manager? What was that? What was that?
Good to see you. Hey, Stephanie. How you doing?
Wait, who is that
Come on,
guy?
I'll walk you out.
Hi, Stephanie. Hey, Kevin.
Hi, Maria.
Forgot you worked here. Good to see you.
So she's gonna fuck her coworker? Oh damn. She's gonna blow him? Damn, with no gloves? Fuck. Also, yeah, shaking hands, not bumping elbows. That's absolutely true. Yeah, they're going to do a BJ, I guess. They're going to go do a big job in the parking lot, apparently. Apparently. Yeah, smoking in the lunchroom. Just, normal everyday shit. BJ's in the back, smoking in the front. They fucking. Absolutely. Her first day of work. They're just trying to encourage a certain atmosphere at, what is this, Wendy's? Where are they?
Good.
Hi, Maria.
Forgot you worked here. Good to see you. Hey, Stephanie. How you doing?
Doing great.
I think she's doing just great.
Yep, she is.
You're looking good in all you do. Making new friends the whole day through. It's customers first. You're a real pro at Jewel.
Well, I guess that's Jewel. So Jewel wants you to blow people in the parking lot. That's cool. That is fucking cool. Okay. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up. Here's what I want to show you guys. Let me just pull this up real quick. And nope, don't want to see the training video montage again. I'm good. Nope, didn't need to see that again. Thanks a lot, YouTube. Thanks a lot. Thank you, YouTube. That's sick. Okay. So here is what I'd like to show you. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up on screen. Okay, so this is the United States versus Whitey Bulger. Okay, so if you look up Hank Brennan and I want to show you this so you can look it up yourself because we're only going to skim over parts of it. But if you look up right here, you put it in quotations, then you do one space between the quoted words Hank Brennan, one space, and then Bulger. That's all you need to do. If you were to put a comma, that changes your search indicator and it's going to make you get different results. If you put it without the quotation marks, you're going to get a shitload more results and they are not all going to apply to the same case. So I highly recommend doing it this way. So let's go ahead and give you the old beginning so that you can see a little bit of what's going on here. This is from District Judge Stearns. This is a memo and order on defendant's motion to continue trial. So basically what Hanky was doing, he was kind of trying to stall as long as he could, even though Whitey was on the run for 16 fucking years. And Hank happened to be the only person that was hired by Whitey as private counsel. They still saw fit to try to drain money. And let me pull myself up for this because it's important. You know how they keep dragging out the case and Hank keeps doing these frivolous motions to try to dispute the legitimacy of all the experts in the Karen Reed case, and he keeps filing motion after motion to keep bringing them back to court to waste her money because every single time, allegedly to waste her money, but come on, we see what's going on here. Because every time they do that, what does that mean? That means that Karen's lawyers have to fly the fuck in. That means AJ's got to get on that fucking plane and come all the way over there, and fucking Yannetti and then Miss Little, and they all have to get their shit and they all have to go to court and they have to sit there and they have to argue over this shit that they've already allowed in the first trial. So why are we fucking doing this again? Well, we're fucking doing this again. A lot of people say because Lally was boring or he failed. Let's be honest. We're doing this again because, in my opinion, they thought that by putting an entirely new guy at the head of the table, the tribal chief, by hiring Hank, instead of reusing people they already had, like Lally or his little lady helper that helped him that day, instead of reusing those people, if they use Hank, it is kind of like it's a whole new trial. So he's going to get to go over everything again and pull a bunch of shit out of his pocket that Lally perhaps couldn't do because they've already done that, right? So Hank is entitled to the ability to review shit from his client. Now, he seems to have not done that because he keeps admitting that he's still going through it. I think that this kind of buys time in a way for the defense, sure, but what it also does is it bleeds them of money. It bleeds Karen of money because this guy's new. Hank's new. He can fucking pull all sorts of shit out of his ass and decide, you know what, we're going to change the route this time. Now, could Lally do that? Sure, but there are certain things that Lally already did on record that perhaps Hank can dispute, and he can use the excuse, I'm a whole new different attorney, Judge, as we've seen him already do, right? So here's what I find interesting. There's kind of been this point made. I mean, pretty literally, the point's been made by the Commonwealth even that, let's not give Karen everything she needs, right? Like, oh, she wants this expert, let's fight it. You know what I mean? Oh, they want to charge $12,000 for this guy to come and scrape the Sally Port. Well, we're going to have to, or the Sally Port video, we're going to have a whole hearing about it, even though Commonwealth hid it. There's nothing available. Now we have to have a whole hearing about her getting reimbursed for that money because it was a waste. And Hank's sitting there like showing up and fucking fighting with it over it. Like, that's ridiculous, right? And every single time they want to do something or they need funds for an expert or they need just an expert that she will fucking pay for, what ends up happening? We have to have a whole new trial. Again, we're just going to keep bleeding over the funds. And to Hank and them, this seems reasonable. And not only does it seem reasonable, they're fighting it. They're like making it very difficult for her. They are constantly coming up with new ways to waste her fucking time. And they're kind of guffawing. I mean, tell me if you're getting another impression, but it seems like they are guffawing every time Karen requests something to help aid in her defense. And I find that really fucking weird because Whitey Bulger, and yes, we're going to go look at precedent. Whitey Bulger, what did he have? Like $20 million that he got away with? That's what he had to live on for, what was it, 16 fucking years? And what did he do with it? He hid it in the walls of his apartment with his girlfriend, and they found it. So Whitey Bulger has $20 million. Okay, he has a lot of money. He can afford a fucking lawyer. Who does he hire? He hires Hank. Yet still, despite having millions more dollars that they have not been able to recover, but that they're sure he has, despite being extremely fucking rich, they decided we're going to ask for the Commonwealth to pay for Whitey to have 5 more fucking attorneys to help represent him. Court appointed. So 5 more attorneys provided and paid for by the Commonwealth, in addition to Hank, even though they knew he did it. They planned on saying, sure, he fucking did it. And the entire defense was built on, but what did you do, FBI? What did the cops do? What kind of it was mainly let's spin it and force the police in the Commonwealth and the FBI to come forward with all their misdeeds and embarrass the shit out of them, as opposed to defending our client. So not only did a millionaire who even his own counsel admitted in court he fucking did it, even his own gang members said he fucking did it. They had proof of him fucking doing it. They had fucking evidence tying him to this shit. Even though all that, all they wanted was to let you know Whitey ain't no fucking rat. But look what the FBI did. Look what the police did. And they spent millions of dollars from taxpayers, granted to them by the Commonwealth, to provide 5 more fucking attorneys to defend him when he already had Brennan as private counsel. And Brennan had no problem asking for that. In fact, Brennan was in shock and horror if they dare fight back. So I find it very interesting. Sorry, everybody here's sick right now. So I find it very interesting that he's also dragging out the case against Karen. He's also fighting her on every fucking expert that she has. And they're having to go to court to get shit paid for that the Commonwealth refused to provide, when that was kind of his big argument about how Whitey was put in a place or oppressed, or, they just want to put him in danger by proving that he's a rat. Like he would waste so much money on counsel and experts to defend Whitey, a guy he knew was fucking guilty. And yet he's put up a big stink about wanting, again, he didn't get it, but Karen's dad's phone. Like, that's kind of crazy, right? So let me put this big for you and we'll read over some of it. All right. Defendant James Bulger was a fugitive from justice for 16 years. The racketeering enterprise, which was at the heart of 19 alleged murders pending before this court, 19 people, 19, did not flee. Over the years, in this session and in parallel proceedings in other sessions, a succession of prosecutions unfolded involving Bulger's former associates, among them Stephen Flemmy, Michael Flemmy, Kevin Weeks, Kevin O'Neill, Francis Solomon, James Mortorano, John Martorano, Robert DeLuca Sr., and John Connolly. Keep in mind, they are accusing the FBI agent of cavorting with Whitey and working in conjunction with him while still being employed by the FBI. The complexity of this case, the multiplicity of the defendants, and the uncovering of a corrupt relationship between Bulger and rogue agents of the FBI, as well as a number of related civil cases, have resulted in an accumulation of evidence, some directly related to the pending murder cases, some seemingly tangential. But all of which counsel is required to review for its potential relevance to the defense. 16 months have now elapsed since Bulger's capture. 16 months, a year and 4 days, people. On June 25th, 2012, Magistrate Judge Marianne Bowler, to whom pretrial matters had been drawn, set a trial date of March 4th. See this? March 4th, okay? 2013. In consultation with this judge, number one. Now pending before this court is the defendant's motion to seeking anew to continue the trial date to November 4th. See that? Do you see that? The defendant's motion, they're pushing it back to November 4th. So it's funny to me that Hank is over here trying to push this trial date out as far as he possibly can for Whitey Bulger, of all people. Very interesting. Very interesting how Canoni seems to be in a rush, along with the Commonwealth, to hurry up and get this woman behind bars when it comes to Karen. In the pleading, defendant's counsel states that he needs the additional time to review all of the discovery, file and litigate substantive motions, and adequately prepare for trial. Funny, he's saying the same thing now about the Commonwealth. 3, the defendant's memorandum at 6, counsel blames his inability to meet the March 4th trial date on shameful discovery production by the government. See, that is interesting, because shameful discovery production by the government seems to be exactly what happened. Well, I wouldn't say the government, but the police with good old Colleen there. Isn't it interesting how it's okay for Whitey, but it's not okay for Karen? So they sent Karen's fucking team out on a wild goose chase to get the Sally Port footage, and they show up and it's not fucking there. So they waste their time. That is the government, right? Or the police, at least, failing and shamefully not producing what was promised evidence-wise. So it's kind of weird that that's happening to Karen right now. Kind of makes Hank a bit of a hypocrite, right? Oh, yeah, cavorted. Oh, Hank was not only his private counsel, right? He was his private counsel, but he cried at the fucking funeral. He said he could call him at 2 a.m. and he would take the call because his family is my family. Interesting. Interesting he'd even go to the funeral. Very weird. So with that said, the counsel Hank blames his inability to meet the March 4th, 2013 trial date on the shameful discovery production by the government, which is exactly what was done to Karen. And on the court. Interesting. For, among other things, refusing to authorize funds for the hiring of 6 contract attorneys to assist Hank in preparing the defense. And I will address each of these complaints. Look at this. I cannot believe this. These lines alone are shocking. Right here. So Hank says it's opposing counsel's fucking fault, right? It is the government's fucking fault. It is the court's fucking fault that I can't meet this deadline because you gave me shitty evidence or failed to produce it at all. And you're not letting me hire 6 attorneys to help me defend Whitey fucking Bulger at your dime when Whitey fucking Bulger has millions of dollars? That is very, very interesting. And look what it says right here. With respect to the discovery produced by the government, counsel states that it is completely and totally unorganized, excessively duplicated, overly redacted, and in many cases randomly or capriciously designated as falling under the aegis of protective order entered on August 9th, 2011, and modified by the magistrate Judge Bowler on July 17th, 2012. The government responds by blaming counsel's alleged indolence for his inability to digest the discovery material that the government has provided. Well, you know what's interesting? I would say the same now. Because it seems that Brennan, again, did not look up his own case. And here we are. Now, it goes on, and it goes to show, if you keep reading this, that essentially what happened was they ended up giving Brennan 5 fucking lawyers. They paid for 5 more lawyers. And yet he still wanted to go back to court to litigate because he wanted 6. They also told him, get fucked. You've got everything. We gave you everything. Just because you're too dumb to sort it and read it, not our problem. Interesting how that works out, doesn't it? Wendy, I've answered this a million times. I work overnight, son. Overnights. So I do. I slept like 16 hours. I slept double what I should have. I'm good. I promise you. You know, you guys see me, 2 to 3 hours a day? There's a lot of day left. I promise you. And night. Okay, so basically what I want to do here is I'd like to go through and I'd like to pull a lot of the info that's in here. And I'd like to kind of show it alongside some of the hypocrisies that Hank is displaying in the Karen Reed trial. And I would like to read them side by side and hear his own arguments disputing his own statements, because I think it's funny. And I think, again, yeah, it's hypocritical. So what? You know, he's allowed to take other cases. Sure. But here's the thing. Karen didn't do it. And also, let's say by some fucking for some insane reason, it was all a coincidence and maybe she did. The arguments don't make sense. The lack of knowledge of the evidence doesn't make sense. His reasoning doesn't make sense. And the fact that they would smear this woman over shit that Hank himself has asked to be done and then more. Like, oh, this people saying this is a waste of the Commonwealth's money. She did it, throw her behind bars. Excuse me, pardon me, Great Poupon. Look at what Hank fucking did. Again, look at his emails. The fuck? Are you kidding me? So when I see Hank in court demanding her, say, who would call their dad this late at night? Motherfucker, you said you'd take calls from Whitey as if he were your own brother. Like, I think these are relevant things to consider. I mean, they're allowed to show precedent in court to back up arguments. I think it would be sick as fuck if Yannetti and Jackson pulled out Hanks and said, in conclusion, we believe, as said by a great man. Then they quote Brennan. Who the fuck said that? It was fucking you, stupid. Do some fucking My Cousin Vinny shit, dude. Fuck it. Anyway, I think that's fascinating. I am going to put a link to this on here for you guys to check out in the future. I do have to go. Whoops, because we've been here 3 hours. It's time for me to go. Thank you guys for joining me. Oh, Nanny, right when I fucking leave? Right when I fucking leave? No, dude, I'm fucking pleased too. It's just funny. I get that question a lot. But maybe, you know what just occurred to me? You guys, if you don't see me live, you probably don't get to ask or don't hear me answer that. So maybe that's what's going on. But yes, I work overnights here. Also, I keep forgetting there's people who live in other sides of the world with other time zones. So I apologize. Nanny, I love you too. Nanny, I love you too. Love all of you guys. Love all of you guys. I am going to be putting out a series of, once I get that Brennan video, which I am going to find here pretty soon, I'm going to mash it up. I'm going to try to put it online for the first time. And I want you guys to see how he acts in court. I think it's very interesting. I think he's a bit of a hypocrite and a goofball. So we're definitely going to be showing some of that. We are going to continue deeper into the apology line again, because that was one of my favorite things that we started doing. And then we took a break and now there's more info. And I'd like to go back and go over it and prep you before we get into that. And I would like to keep looking with Miss Tombstones and have her on to discuss that. Also, I do think that there are a couple of things in the Apology Line magazine that I think could be looked into. And that would be another fun side project. And I would like to continue looking into Tracy Kirkpatrick for the sweet lady who messaged me about her case. I do think it is very fascinating. And if you have any others that are similar to the Apology Line stuff, please let me know. I would love to see them. Also, I'd like to remind you guys we have Uncle Frank's t-shirt at the store. Her thank you for all your opinions on X t-shirt. All of the proceeds of that t-shirt are going to Uncle Frank's Kidney Fund. And I'll show you guys one more time. Let me see if I can pull it up. We have some new shirts in the store. Let me see if this is it. Yep. We've got a couple of noobs. Let me pull these up for you guys. And I'll show you one more time. And all of... Oh, come on. Don't freeze. Do not freeze, you silly goose. Here we go. A couple of these I think are pretty cool. But my favorite is the Frank one. Let me show you guys what we got here. Let me show you guys what we got. So these are $15 each. It's pretty cheap, right? It's a good price. And look at that. Thanks for all the opinions. That's Uncle Francis right there. That's our tweet. He was hilarious. All the proceeds of this go to Uncle Francis' Kidney Fund. We also have this new shirt in. I went on the YouTube and all I got was doxed and this stupid shirt. Stupid t-shirt. I went on the YouTube and all I got was doxed and this stupid t-shirt. Also $15. And then, of course, thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul. You can get that now at obliviousbenson-shop.fourthwall.com. And those are our new shirts. Thank you guys for joining in. I am going to end this now with a smooth jam from MC Lunchbox with 2 X's. You can go to his channel to check out the original of this. This is Lo-Fi Towel Jams Tier 3 Remix. Okay? And I love you guys. And you're the best. And you're all grounded. All right? Be good on the internet. Go out there and embarrass dad. All right? I love you. Here we go.
The people are represented by 2 separate yet equally important groups. The police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders.
That's assault, man. That's assault, man. Break that up, man. Pop that there, man. That's assault, man. That's assault, man. Break that up, man. Break that up. Pop that chair here. These people are going to eject you from this line. That's assault, man. That's assault, man. It is. You cannot touch me like that. Oh, I will be telling you exactly what happened. Break that. Ma'am. These people are going to eject you from this line. That's assault. We have video of her just touching. How did that go? I will. Excuse me. Ma'am. Excuse me. Break that. That's assault. Ma'am. You cannot touch me like that. Break that. Oh, I will be telling you. Break that. That's assault. That's assault. Break that. That's assault. We have video of her just. These people are going to eject you from this line. How did that show? I will assault. It is incredibly appropriate. I will. You cannot touch me like that. That's assault. Break that. Stop that chair here. Ma'am, you cannot touch me like that. It is incredible. That's assault. Break that. That's assault. Break that. Stop that chair. Ma'am. Stop that chair. Ma'am. Stop that chair. Ma'am. These people are going to eject you from this line. Break that. That's assault. Break that. Ma'am. Break that. Oh, I will. Ma'am. That's assault. Oh, I will be telling you exactly what happened. Stop that chair here. That's assault. Break that. Ma'am, that's assault. Ma'am, break that. Stop that chair here. These people are going to eject you from this line. That's assault. Ma'am, that's assault. Ma'am, it is. You cannot touch me like that. Oh, I will be telling you exactly what happened. Break that. Ma'am, these people are going to eject you from this line. That's assault. We have video of her just touching. How did that go? I will be. Excuse me. Ma'am. Excuse me. Break that. That's assault. Stop that chair. Ma'am. You cannot touch me like that. Break that. Oh, I will be telling you. Break that. That's assault. That's assault. Stop that. Break that. That's assault. Stop that chair here. We have video of her just. These people are going to eject you from this line. How did that show? I will be assault. It is incredibly appropriate. I will. You cannot touch me like that. That's assault. Break that. Stop that chair here. Ma'am, you cannot touch me like that. It is incredible. That's assault. Break that. That's assault. Break that. Stop that chair. Stop that chair. Stop that chair. Ma'am, these people are going to eject you from this line. Break that. That's assault. Break that. Ma'am, break that. Oh, I will. Ma'am, that's assault. Oh, I will. That's assault. Oh, I will. That's assault. That's assault. Oh, I will. be telling you. That's assault. Oh, I will be telling you exactly what happened. Stop that chair here. That's assault. Break that. That's assault. Oh, I will be telling you. That's assault. Oh, I will be telling you. That's assault. Oh, I will. That's assault.